No problem, man. Thanks for having me. I'll continue.
Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today, I am so excited to have on a 32-year-old from Downers Grove, Illinois, USA. His hockey journey has taken him to the USA, Netherlands, England, Denmark, Wales, France, and Germany. He's a three-time All-Academic with Minnesota Mankato State University, most points by a D-man in the Netherlands. He's an EIHL Challenge Cup champion, a two-time playoff champion, and a fan favorite, or was, of the card. And one time had the best plus minus with GB en route to gold. But he is now about to bleed orange. Welcome to the podcast, Evan Mosey.
What an intro. Wow.
Yeah, I've been honing my skills. You're episode 61, I think.
Oh, so it's just been getting better and better every time. You tied it in pretty good. I'm impressed.
Oh, thank you. No, there's a website there that gives you a lot of info about hockey players, so it's not that bad.
The all academic team was really shook me. I'm like,
I did that, yeah. Well, so what did you study to get that, eh?
Sport management, and then I minored in marketing. So I didn't do like one of those floozy like political science or like.
No, that's actually sounded pretty floozy there. Sports management, eh?
But then you got like communication, or like what's the other one, like like communication, political science, like those guys. I could see Joey Martin was probably one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he dabbled into.
I don't think anybody knows. I think he's one of those guys who never graduated, but he somehow got his master's at Cardiff, like just flew right under the radar.
No, I think he's a pretty smart cookie. I don't think you're that good at hockey unless you're a smart cookie.
Nah, yeah, seriously, you got to be. It's either you got
the guys that good or have intelligence, right?
Yeah, well, you can't have smarts and good looks, so he's got like. And he's good at hockey, so you can't have all those things.
Well, I don't know. My wife used to say he was the cute one outside of me.
Joey Martin, God, the guy's got everything, man. Good looks.
He really does.
Stick handle with his head up. It's unbelievable.
I know. That's I guess that kind of segues into how we know each other. Is obviously he's one of my favorite players because how we know each other, I guess, was the first night we would have met. I guess I would have been right.
The first night we met, I remember like I was injured.
You didn't see the show then, right?
No, I did. That's how we didn't meet. We met after the show, but I came in and we had like pregame skater. I was doing something at the rink, like my rehab before the game, and Todd was like, hey, come to the game like after warm-ups, like when Lordo does his speech. And I was like, and he's never asked me that. Like Lordo had like a new like rule that year. Like he didn't want anybody in the locker room, didn't want anybody like
no distractions.
Yeah, no distractions. And like, well, I'm a huge distraction anyway. But I was like, why does Todd want me like? And I was like, okay, I'll come. And he's like, seriously, Todd, like he like pushed me against the wall. He's like, hand in the chest. He's like, be there, trust me, it'll be worth it. And I was like, okay. And then like sure enough, I'm like standing there, Lordo gives his speech, and then I was like, you come running in like head on, naked, and I was like, and then you took it off, and I was like, I don't even know who this guy is. Like, who is this guy?
Yeah, Wally.
And then like finally like it clicked, and somebody's like, oh, that's Wally. Like he played, and I was like, oh yeah, I played against him, but I was like, wait, why is he here? And I was like, why is he naked too? And he's just running around getting everybody fired up. And like half the team was like, seriously though, who is this guy? And like Todd and Lordo were loving it. And they're like, but seriously, why is there a naked guy running around the locker room?
Well, Richie, I got right in his face. He knew what was going on. So did the goat. So did Marty.
Yep.
Bouncy knew what was going on.
Wow.
There were probably a few jaws that hit the floor, right?
A few jaws hit the floor, but like the guys who were like knew you, like that were on the team, like I was standing next to Haddad. He was losing it at the other end because like he couldn't even like look. And then when you got in Richie's face, I was like, oh man. And like Richie, like props to him, like he's probably seen it all, so he was loving it. And then like
he's always loved it. He's always loved my shows. He has.
Secretly, he loves it. He just doesn't want to actually like smile and like.
One time I broke an axe right at his feet, and then I got right in his face again too. Yeah, no, that was Wally night, folks, and I did a pregame speech like I used to when I was injured.
Yep.
And I guess I guess the rules were different when I was there because I was a distraction and I was supposed to be a distraction. Lordo wanted me to come in to make everybody laugh and realize it's just a game because he might have pushed them a little too much, right?
Yeah, and I think maybe you got the rule change. Maybe you're the reason why the rules in place, like where like guys can't stay focused anymore.
Well, we did blow it that year, so yeah, probably.
Wow. We
anyways.
blew it. Well, I don't know if you blew it as bad as we did the one year where we were winning and then we lost in the last game of the season to Coventry.
No, I know. I watch that stuff from my desk nowadays, and yeah, it hurt for me to watch that game too.
Ooh.
I couldn't imagine playing it. That would have sucked.
Oh yeah, that was yeah, I don't like talking. That wasn't fun. I'm not gonna lie. That was like,
Yeah.
I was like, we'll get up. Well, I was like, we'll get up next year, guys. And then I was like, shit, hopefully. And then next year rolled around, and I was like, Corona, shit.
And you guys were about to win the next year.
Yeah, we were like, I think we were like 2 points or 1 point up with like 4 games in hand, and I was like, okay, we got this. And then Todd comes in, he's like, season's canceled, guys. And I think he's like, season canceled. And before he even got the words out of his mouth, you could hear like just like beers opening from guys' stalls, like.
Yeah, that sucked. That sucked for a lot of hockey players. It sucked for a lot of hockey players since, but you actually did play hockey through the pandemic, eh?
Yeah, that was God, that was like the saving grace. Like I was actually able to somewhat be like, it was somewhat live a normal-ish life during like,
yeah, because there's a
lockdown.
lot of hockey players that were sitting at home going, am I ever going to be a hockey player again? Should I be looking for work? What am I doing with my life? Right?
Yeah, and that was for me. Like I was kind of like, I was coming off knee surgery. I played, God, 8 games at the end of the season, and then like Corona hit. So like I pretty much like since I don't want to say I took the year off. Like I was rehabbing and doing all, like, like you're freaking in the gym and doing that fun stuff.
The worst.
It's the worst. People don't understand. It's like the biggest grind ever.
Well, I think the people that listen to this podcast know what I'm about, and it's being around the boys and being part of the team. And it is not about
lifting a weight.
Well, like just doing stuff on your own and like not competing and when you're doing that rehab shit, man, it's lonely days and you're not part of the team. I know what it was about, man. And when I saw like, cause I kind of watched you because you also had a knee injury in Cardiff after I had, and I saw they treated you very well too, right?
Yeah, I had no complaints. Like Todd didn't really need to keep me around and like worry about like the surgery and organize that stuff. Like they treated me really well. Like I had no complaints. And Lordo, I think he learned a lot from like your injury and stuff, where like he kind of made me like come to the rink every day and like be around the guys, and like I'd come and shoot the shit with the guys before practice, and then when they'd go on the ice, I'd go to the pool and do like the knee rehab sessions for freaking hours, and then come back, and at least I was able to like shower with the guys and be normal and see Benty in the hot tub for the entire time.
That's what you want.
Showering
with the guys and seeing Benty in the hot tub. That's what hockey players are all about, right?
That's why I stayed in Cardiff. That's why I stayed the whole year. I just wanted to see that all the time. That beautiful body getting in and out.
Yeah, no, that's why a lot of people liked playing with me, was seeing my body. But I dominated that pool too, right beside the arena there in Cardiff. I swam a lot of laps that year. I really dominated it with, did you have the little thing in between your knees where you just use your arms for a while?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Boy, I was jacked up.
I didn't realize like that pool is like, it's massive. Like the actual lap pool. Like if you try to swim,
really far, isn't it? Yeah. It's a long time since I was in Elmira Aqueduct.
I got like halfway one time and like I stopped and like I was like laying on the lane thing, and the lady was like, "You can't do that." And I was like lane 7. I was like, "Sorry, like I'm sorry, miss. Like if I keep going, you're gonna be in here with me, like saving me." I was about to die.
So you're gonna be that guy with water wigs. Okay. No, that's awesome.
I started using like the little board and like laid on that, because like you couldn't, like I could only kick like flutter kicks. Like couldn't do like
the frog kick or whatever, the breaststroke kick. Yeah, that hurts the knee. That snaps it. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I couldn't like do like the frog kick or whatever. So think about this. Like if you stop swimming and you like try to tread water, you can only use your arms, but your arms are gassed from doing freestyle. So I was just like, I'd get to the middle and like I did it a little bit and then I never really improved. So I was like, I'm gonna go to like the kid pool when no one's in there and do it there and like ride the water slides when I'm done as like a treat.
Yeah, I was on a swim team, so I got by, but I couldn't imagine not doing that and then trying to swim with just your arms. It was exhausting that year. And but like showering with the boys and being part of the team still, and like but like getting there when they do and like showing up, getting undressed, getting your gear, like they're getting ready for practice, but you get your stuff on, and then I would stay there until they would go on the ice. And then when they would go on the ice, I would go do my workout for the same amount of time they would practice. And then like you're back in the room when they're back in the room, and you try and make it out for Juice Boy if you can, right?
Yeah, that was I don't even think we played. Like I wanted to play Juice Boy. We never actually played Juice Boy. We never did anything. Like
Stop it. What?
Well,
you guys stopped fun?
We stopped. Well, I wouldn't say we stopped fun, but I think we stopped Juice Boy. Like I don't think we played it at all that year. Like I don't. Like usually Lordo would, I don't know if he did it with you, like we'd finish practice and usually it was like a tough practice. We'd do like 4 nets, like the 4 nets at like around, and you do like skill stuff. And then guys, by the time that was over, we're like, yeah, we're done. We've been on the ice for like 2 hours. Like we're not doing Juice Boy.
Juice Boy was always just like Thursdays before the weekends. Like the end of a Thursday.
I honestly can't remember if we did Juice Boy at all. I don't know if we did.
I'd be curious. Maybe Bouncy got too big time. He's like, I don't want shootouts anymore. Who knows, right?
He might have. Bouncy, yeah. Now he's all big time.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Imports. Okay. Other ways we know each other then, I guess, is looking at your resume. You've played in the Danish league, the second league in Germany, and the UK league. So you've played in 3 of the leagues that were my honey holes.
What was the Dutch league for you?
No, the Danish league.
Oh, the Danish league. I thought you meant Dutch league. I was like, no way. I got a brother in the Dutch league with me.
No, sorry. No, not the Dutch league.
Good.
No, Danish. Danish.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. Once you go to the Dutch league, it's hard getting out of that league.
Yeah, I guess we could get into your career here, but yeah, no, I was just curious. What did you find the differences between those 3 leagues?
Oh God, Dutch league was.
Nope, we're not talking about Dutch. Gosh,
he's got Dutch on my freaking.
Yeah, stop.
Got wooden clogs on my brain. Danish league and the German league were pretty like fast and like skilled. Like the German league is like a lot more skilled than I think people think. And like the imports they get there, some of them are so sick. Like they shouldn't be in that league.
The imports in that league are high end. I think there's usually a few Germans that are like skilled per team, at least when I played. It's been a decade for me though, at least now since I played there. So I don't know what's like now. What am I talking about?
Yeah. No, it's now it's good. The Danish league, I didn't mind it. It was kind of weird. It was like a weird league. Like
who was you were in Herning. Who was your coach?
Yuri Skriko. Oh God, Petri Skriko or something. Like he.
Oh, it wasn't Bjorkstrand.
No, it was another Finnish guy, and like he didn't like me, which was funny because like he wouldn't let me be like offensive, and like I remember like talking to him in the summer, and I told him like I'm a forward, switch back to D, like I'm very offensive, and then when I got there, he like wouldn't let me skate the puck over the blue line, like I had to like pass it and then like I was just like, so like that's when I was like, what am I doing? I was miserable, like I hated going to the rink, so I was like at one point I was like I hated hockey, so I was like, what am I still doing here? So like I think he like called me into his office because I had a bad game, and he was like trying to motivate me, and he was like, I think the league's just too good for you, and I was like, all right, I'll just.
That's what he said to you.
Yeah, he's trying to like motivate me, and like I called his bluff, so he was like, yeah, I think like the league's too good, like you know, you're not playing good. He's like, I think the league's just too good, and I was like, I just told him, I was like, all right, I'll stop you there, like I'll leave, I'll be gone. It was like a Friday, I was like, I'll be gone by like Monday, like I'll just find a new team, and he was like, wait, no, like he's like, when coaches said that, like I'd play harder, and I was like, no, it's fine, like. And I wanted out of there anyway. So I was like, no, it's fine. Like, you don't think I'm good enough. Like, I'll leave. I was like, I'll get out of here.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. You would say that. Yeah, make me want to leave too. But
well, he was like trying to like motivate me, and I was like, I already wanted to leave. Like, the team wasn't that good, and like the town was kind of boring. I was like, I like it was fun. It was a good experience, but then I was like, yeah, I gotta get out of here.
I play like not to talk poorly about Sunderuski because I got a gold helmet there and I made some great friends, but like there wasn't a lot to do outside of the rink, and like they're quite reserved around there. There's not much, I would say, partying really, and like there just wasn't a lot to do outside of the rink. Right?
Yeah. There was maybe like 2 bars. Oh God, maybe I think
everybody in the town would know if you went there.
Oh, everybody. I remember going to the bar with like the other imports. Like at least the only good thing was like the guys on the team were good and like the other imports were good. So like it was tolerable. But I'd go to the bar and there'd be like our like board members from the team and stuff like at the bar. And they'd kind of be like, why are you guys here? And I'm like, well, it's a Tuesday or something. We don't play till Friday. And like,
can I not go for a beer to kill some time in a different country? No, I know. But there are teams in Europe that like, if you're seen out having a beer, they're like, were you out drinking on a Wednesday? And you're like, I had a beer with dinner. Pardon?
That's so weird to me. They'd be like, well, why are you at the bar? And I'm like, well, why are you at the bar? Right? Like, you're at the bar with me. Like, and you have to work tomorrow. Like, I just have practice at 12 or something. Like, why are you here?
What? Yeah, no, there's teams that have different outlooks over there, and there's different cultures and different leagues. And that's why I was curious when you played in all 3 leagues. Like, I found the Danish league where like the guys were like kind of skinny. There weren't many bruisers around. There weren't many guys laying big hits, but
there's no hitting.
And like there was no hitting, there was no slashing. There was really not a lot of, there were a few guys with like a deep passion for the game, but like, it just, they were fast and they were skilled, but and then Germany, you do whatever the coach says, even if it makes a little bit of sense or a lot of sense, you do whatever they say or you are done.
No, and that was the one thing I went to Germany was like Pete Russell, so the head coach of the national team was the coach in Germany, and I remember like it was him and Corey Nielsen, like they were like kind of like trying to get me, and then finally like I went to like Pete's team, and that was the only reason why I kind of went, because like at least I know him,
right,
and like know his hockey style. But like friends, like I had friends that play on other team in Germany, and they were saying like some of the stuff the coach would tell them. They were like the one kid was like, "We're doing a system." He's like, "I don't think this system's like approved by any normal hockey player." He's like, "I don't understand where our coach came up with this system." Like,
I bet you I know who the coach is.
Who was it? I don't even know. I don't even know who his coach was.
What team was he on?
Oh God, what is it? The Kaufbohren.
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking it was Kevin Gaudet, because when I was in Germany, my last coach, like this coach does well over there and he wins, but like he came in and told us, he's like, I've coached teams that aren't as skilled as the other teams, and this is the system that we're going to use.
That's what I love.
And the deal was like, we trapped at center, made them dump it, and then our wingers didn't leave the red line. We would go to the far blue line, and then when they dump it in, we take a hard rim to the far blue, and it was called the shotgun. So I literally would stand there at the red line, trying to get them to dump it, and then I would go to the far blue line. So I literally didn't move, and they're wondering why I gained weight.
They're like, seriously though, like, why aren't you skating? Why does your heart rate never get past a certain like limit during the game? It's like, well, I don't move, so like,
I've been between the red and the blue.
Germany,
I'm up here.
The only thing that like shocked me about Germany, like the skill level, the speed was fast. Like the skill level is like pretty high end. Like there's some teams that like are lower budget that like the drop off between like their top 2 is like significant to like their German line.
Hazy
is like,
sunset.
Yep, you get it in you. But the one thing that shocked me was like the ice rinks.
Oh, they're awesome. They're the best ice rinks ever, man. It's hockey. That's hockey.
But it's hockey, but like
you're going to the big arena in Sheffield, so you need all these big fancy lights and all the stands. Come on, man.
No, but like
those
you gotta
German rinks, that's hockey.
but I played it. You got to realize the Dutch league, man. My home rink didn't have walls. It was just like it was a tent, and then there was no walls. There was a building on the one side, but like the Del 2 is like a solid, respectable league. And then like you go to what Krimichow is like an outdoor rink. It's just like a metal roof, and it's like you can see the woods, and then there's
At Krimichow, they're chugging hot wine in the crowd topless, and it's like minus 100. Yeah, it's awesome.
I wish they were topless.
Banging on drums.
Oh man. Well, we had no fans. It was just me in the arena. That's why it was like, these are weird.
Well, do you know what I heard?
What
your German teammate said?
Who was it?
It was Carlos. You don't know who Carlos is because he probably doesn't go by that name anymore. But Carlos said that you talk too much in the locker room.
Oh, 100%. I won't even deny that.
Is that right? The Germans are saying you talk too much in the locker room.
Oh man, of course, that's normal. Any teammate you talk to is gonna say the exact same thing.
There was another guy, from then I guess this was a Canadian from Cardiff that also said you talked a lot. Because when I put that you were coming on, he said, "Oh, good luck. I hope you get a word in."
Yeah, you gotten like 2 or 3 words in. You're good.
Oh, way more than Jeff Van Eynatt in episode 50. That guy went on for 3 hours. I didn't say a word. I just drank 20 beers.
by the time he's done, you're just crushed, passed out.
Well, I said to him like halfway through, I'm like, dude, how am I gonna stay sober if I don't talk?
I gotta get.
No, you have not been as advertised because this has been a good flow to this conversation. I thought it was gonna be worse.
No, see, like I'm a good
you're feeling it. You feel the groove. Yeah. You know when to talk too much. You know when to get the boys going.
Yeah, I talk any teammate will tell you I talk a lot, but I hate like locker room dead silence. Like I think it's like the dead silence is so awkward. Like if you sit in a car,
awful.
If you sit in a car with somebody and you're like driving and it's just silent, I'll literally be like, something wrong? Like what's going? Like why is
there's got to be some music on if we're not talking.
Something like there's got to be like something, and like
I agree.
I'm trying to think. I had like a weird. Who was it?
Well, I got to tell you though who Carlos is.
Yeah, who's Carlos? Who's that?
So he joined our team in Bietigheim after we won the championship, and he was like the only new player. And the movie The Hangover just came out, and the baby was Carlos, and he was like 20 years old, and he looked like the baby. It was Mark Whitforth.
Whitford.
Yeah.
Whitford.
Yeah, he's Carlos. Yeah, he's my buddy. We still stayed in contact through the whole thing. Me and him used to have some fun when he joined the team in Bietigheim. He was just a young punk. I really ruined him though. I really taught him the wrong way to be a pro.
He just had a new baby Carlos this season. So congrats to the baby Carlos.
Yeah, baby Carlos. Did he have a boy or a girl? I think I saw it on the Instagram thing.
I think it was a boy.
Okay, well, congrats, Carlos. But he still says you talk too much. So.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
But did you guys? Can I say something? Did you guys not almost win it in Freiburg? And that's a low budget team. Did you guys not make it to the finals?
We made it to the semis. We lost to Bietigheim, and then Bietigheim beat Castle.
Really?
It was Castle and Bietigheim. I think like the whole year they were the top 2, and we were kind of like we were like a lower end like budget team. But I think like I wouldn't say lower end. I think Pete came in, they were lower end, and then he like brought them. They like overachieved where they were like.
Well, it's all about your budget in that league, and that team, Freiburg, has never had a budget.
No, and I'd say they've spent more, and I think the more they've spent, they've realized like the team could be like the team's good, and they have a good core group of like Germans, like Witty's there, and like
Billy.
They have like Billy, yeah,
Christian Billich, Hellbronner Falcon. 2012-13. He's a good player too, man.
He's sick, man. He was on the top line, and like he's just like steady and consistent. I think he had like 70 points, which is like pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
he's a player. Yeah.
Doesn't like he's the opposite of me. He's funny and like sarcastic, but I think he maybe said like 10 words to me the whole time I was there. And I just
when he speaks, you listen, right? Because he doesn't speak much. Yeah.
I got him to laugh, I think, once, and that's when I was like, okay, I got him.
No, they're both good dudes that I played with. Great German players, and seems like you would have had a good bunch of guys there, eh?
The guy, yeah, that was the one thing in Freiburg, like Corona, no fans, like the little like team fiestas that we had, like the Cabina
Fests. Yeah.
And like the German beer goes, woof, it's a little stronger and it's a lot more beer than you think.
Is Freiburg still sponsored by the Christmas tree beer?
Yeah, the Roth, was it
Rothhaus? Roadhouse. Yeah.
Roth, hold on for a second. I think I have the jersey. Hold on.
Yeah, it is. It's the Roadhouse. It's the Red House is what that is.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
We'll plug Freiburg.
Oh yeah, there it is. The Roadhouse. Yep, they're still sponsored by the same beer. Fantastic beer, great at Christmas markets.
Yeah, maybe they'll send you a couple cases or something if we plug it a little bit.
No, Bayfield Brewing Company. Sorry, don't want them. Don't want them. I got great beer right here. I don't need them. Leave them there.
Mind. We don't need that. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, cancel the sponsorship.
No, I'm having a hazy sunset and it's better. So
there you go. Yeah, they're still sponsored. So like the amount of cases of beer like in the rink
after a game.
Staggering.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But then when you drink a lot of them, they're like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Well, you gave them to me."
No, that was the bad thing. Was like I forgot who it was. I don't know if he's the president or like the guy who runs, because I know there's like the president, there's like the sport manager, there's like all these positions. And I remember he like came in one day and he's like, "Hey, fans aren't here. We have like a trailer full of beer that's going to expire like in the next couple months." He's like, "You guys got to drink more after games. Like we're bringing 2 cases." He's like, "We're going to bring 4 now." Like and there was just beer constantly. Like we'd win a game and there'd be like 5 cases of beer and guys were like, "This is kind of excessive a little bit." Like, and they're like, "You need to drink it. It's going to go bad." Like we bought it.
Jeez.
Yeah, I wasn't complaining about that.
That's, I mean, I don't know. That's old time hockey right there. I mean, that Germany, I'm glad it hasn't changed much because I really liked playing over there. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought the culture was fun. I thought if you you wouldn't have beer. Well, I guess you'd have a beer or 2 after a Friday win and play Sunday, right? Like on the bus ride. It depended who your coach was. I played there for years and never had a beer ever in the locker room.
I don't think. Yeah, we'd have beers sometimes on the bus, like after like the Sunday game, we'd like after the game, like where we'd had the day off, like you'd have beers, like they'd bring beers on the bus. But like the locker room was like a normal, like our coach didn't care, like as long as you weren't like an idiot about it and came to work and there was beers. And the weird thing is like how much they recycle. There were like they recycle all the glass bottles, so like you'd bring like 5 or 6 beers home to have at your house, and when you finished them you'd save them. And then like you bring them back to the rink to put in like the cases, because we had like all our cases like stacked up. So you had to like sneakily like come in with a bag and like hope the coach didn't see you like dropping a whole bunch of beers, like going to recycle them back in the case. Like,
yeah. Okay. I guess there's a lot of listeners that have probably not been wanting us to talk about Germany so long. So I guess I'm gonna have to ask the question now.
Ask the hard one.
Well, what all went into the decision that you bled red most your whole life, and now you're gonna bleed orange?
Oh God!
So you're leaving my favorite team, to go to the orange team. But hey, shout out to David Sims, most listened to podcast yet, 1,716 listens so far, folks. Think about that many people standing outside my shed listening to us drink a beer. That is ridiculous. So way to go, Simsy.
Yeah, you could sell concessions for that. You should just start charging tickets, see if people fly over. You might.
Well, all I need is the free beer from the Bayfield Brewing Company, and I'll keep chatting with all my friends and making new ones.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the decision was, well, there was I'd say there was a little miscommunication from me and from Cardiff a little bit, where like I would have went back to Cardiff, but like it's hard to accept a job when you don't have an offer. So it's kind of like and that was a little bit of miscommunication from me, because like I kept saying like, oh, I'm gonna see what's out in Europe, like and then I think the new coach kind of, like pretty much like I never really got an offer from Cardiff. And I don't know if that's because the new coach is new and he kind of wants to make his team, and that's that was what happened. And then the decision came where they were like, yeah, we don't really want you, or like, we're full. And I was like, okay, well, that sucks. And then I'm like any normal person, like, I know the fans were like, how could you do this? And then it's like, any normal person, it's like, well, I need a job. And like, what's the next, like, the best competing team in the league that's like on par with Cardiff? So I was like, well, and like, I talked to the coach and it seemed like he seemed like a good guy. Minnesota State Mankato guy. So.
Oh, is he really?
Oh yeah.
Are you guys the Mavericks? Did I see that today?
Yeah, we're the Mavericks. I don't know what that means, but we're the Mavericks. It's a bowl, I guess. We're a bowl. We're just a bowl.
A bull? Okay. I was thinking of Top Gun, but yeah.
Oh, I wish it was. That they should change it. Maybe I'll ask him if we could change the old Top
I actually
Gun.
I never knew what I knew about Mankato, but I didn't know what your name was until today when my research team was working at it.
Just typing away.
No, but I think, like, realistically, especially after talking with Simsy and like knowing, like, those were my choices when I was coming to the UK, was Cardiff or Sheffield. And like like, Cardiff's my favorite team. They treat people great. But like, you can't go wrong with Sheffield. And like, talking with Simsy, like, they treat people like pros, and like, you show up, you play hard, you compete, like you can make money on that team, right? Like, they got a budget, and that,
yeah,
for a hockey player, you want a chance to have a higher ceiling of getting paid, and you want a chance to win, and that's what you'll get, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like, I loved Cardiff. Like, I'd never say one bad thing about like the organization, Todd, like Katrina in the office, like everybody, even the owners, like when the owners come, like, they were top end. Like, I never would say one bad thing about it. Like, it was one of those unfortunate things where like, it was miscommunication by me, miscommunication by the new coach, and like miscommunication with Todd, where like everything just like happened, and it happened so fast. And then it was like, oh shit, like, what just happened? Like, this is kind of weird. And then for me, it was kind of like, well, shit, I don't really have a job right now, because I was like, well, this is weird.
Yeah, well, it's I just saw shout out to the chef Joey Haddad, and what he's done for the Devils. I just saw he's going to be a swamp rabbit again next year, and like, to think of him at 32 choosing to be in the Coast. I don't know what goes on in the Coast these days. I don't know what they threw at him, or if it's a similar situation, like he needs a job and he needs to play hockey. And I'm curious, because he just said he's going to come on the pod too, so I guess we'll figure that out too.
We'll figure that out. Yeah. You can grill him with these questions. No, I honestly don't know. And I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's the new coach kind of coming in, and like, obviously, like, new coach, he's going to want.
Well, and that's what new coaches want, right? New coaches want to make it theirs. They want to make it their own. Yeah. And I get it.
Yeah. And I get that too. And that's why, like, if that was the case, like, I'd never, like, it's not like, it's part of the business. Like, it's the same thing. Like, fans are like, I'm guessing fans hate me and they're like, why would he do this? But it's like, well, like, we need a job. Like, what am I like the times of like teams like kind of being loyal to players, like, it's not like it was like 10 years ago where like a guy would
I don't
stay
think
there.
It was ever like that in Europe. I don't think there was ever that much loyalty. If you don't produce, you don't come back. Like, that is hockey. That is real life. Like, it doesn't matter how much loyalty they have to you. It's the same with me and Bietigheim. Like, if the team doesn't produce, and
you're gone.
Yeah. And like, but if a new coach comes in and they want to make it theirs, this is what happened to me in Bietigheim. I thought loyalty was a thing and I was loyal to them. I could have gone other places, but I'm like, no, I'm loyal to you. But then you bring in a new coach and he doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't care. Yeah.
No.
He's like, who the hell is this guy that we got? And you're like, oh, we signed him to like a 2-year extension. They're like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Pardon me. Look at the muffin top on that kid.
Yeah, but then you're like, fuck, I haven't gone past the blue line to back check or anything, because we just been rimming the puck the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, that was the one shitty thing. And like, I don't know. I wouldn't say like it, for me, it was kind of like, well, this kind of sucks, because I was like, well, what else am I going to do? And then, like I had offers in like other like Europe. Like I didn't have anything in the Dell too, which I was like kind of bummed about because I was like, I didn't play bad there, and like I had a good playoff. So I was like,
And were you playing D?
I don't have a position. I
Well, and
signed at like
that's like what we really haven't talked about yet is like, I guess this is kind of UK based, so I wouldn't know how to make the analogy there, but you're like the Ben Zobrist to baseball, right? Like the
yeah.
guy that can play every position. And if you want him to pitch, he'll just go out there and pitch a game too, right?
I'll throw some heaters right down the middle and hope something happens. Or I'll try, even if I'm not even good at it. Like I'll probably be like, yeah, I can. Like I've played backup goalie in a game in the Dutch league, so like I can do it.
Well, I just like, from what I can tell, I feel like I can read people, but for me, I think you're just a guy that's a good teammate that would do anything to help the team. And you want everybody to be in a good mood at the rink. You want everybody to have fun, and you want to have fun, and you'll do whatever it takes to help the team win and do that, right?
Every team needs that. Every team needs a guy that morale. I always say like I'm a good morale guy. Like when I went to the AHL, I don't think they sent me down because I was a morale guy. I was just the guy in the locker room. I was the glue that kept that team together.
Yeah, no, and people like, yeah, I know.
You know exactly what I'm talking. You just need a guy to keep it loose for like.
Well, I do know exactly what it's like, but like for me, when the team starts losing, like I couldn't be Wally, right? Like when you're losing, I couldn't be me. I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do because you're losing. And that's when, like in Bietigheim, when I was signing up to be on a team that was gonna lose because the budget had gone down, like I couldn't even act like myself because we were losing all the time. I was playing the same, but I couldn't act like myself, and I wasn't having fun.
That's why you went to Cardiff, because you were like, we're going to win a ton and I can do exactly what I want.
Well, none of us knew we were going to win a ton that year. That was the first year of it all. And we were in a tent, and we didn't have a budget, and we were all new.
What year was that? Was that
14, 15?
Okay. So I played again. No, I was. 15,
yes. No, I looked at it today.
I know we played against each other for at least 1 year. I know that.
Right. And I only played in Cardiff 1 year. The next year I was hurt the whole time, and I just ran around naked.
But once again, every team needs a guy like that.
No, like I agree, but like our team had like 5 or 6 guys like that at Cardiff. Like there was some maniacs.
There was, honestly, I remember seeing a video of like, I think it was like your end of the season party, and like Joey Martin's got the helmet on. Or he's got the
the Taz head on.
He's just rolling around, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, that was the first year. Yeah, that was the first year. That was the end of your party, and like that's why, like when I come over for Wally night and I have the Taz head on and I'm spray painted as the goat, there's a lot more meaning to it than you guys would ever know.
Well, I forgot. We didn't even mention like you spray painted 88 and Martin on your back. Like,
not Martin. It said the goat.
Did it say the goat?
Or it said just goat 88.
I think it said just goat. And I just remember I was like, and then somebody was like, "Man, he spray painted that," and I was like, "No way!" And then I saw you in the fan section with the flag, like waving that around. I was like, "Oh my god!" You're just walking around the arena shirtless, and not one fan batted an eye. Like, why is Wally here like half naked? Not one fan they were loving it. Not one fan.
It was called Wally night. They knew I was there. Like there was a thing on the Jumbotron before. And I remember when I ran around, like after I do my naked skit, and then I get dressed and run around, and they're like, "You got to get around to drop the puck. You got to be there. You got 2 minutes." And I run around, and I'm dressed, and then I like go out on the red carpet, and I'm like stand there. I'm like, "Why aren't the captains coming? Like, what's happening?" And I'm standing there like, why aren't the captains coming? And they're like, "Hey, Wally, like look up." And I look up, and like there's a whole Jumbotron thing going. I'm like, this is the most absurd thing I have ever seen. And all you guys are standing on the blue line, dying laughing.
I was like, the guys were like,
well, you weren't down there, right? Yeah.
Oh, well, I was up in like the catwalk, and I was like, man. Well,
my old stomping grounds, the catwalk.
Yeah, everybody else was just laughing, and I was laughing too, because I was like, this guy was just butt naked in our locker room screaming at Richie's face 4 seconds ago, and now he's on the ice, like holding it together, completely normal.
Dressed business casual.
Oh man, something ridiculous. Speaking of like you ridiculous with the Jumbotron show in Bietigheim this year, I think I got suspended this game because there's no
Were
hitting.
you there when I was on the Jumbotron?
No, like in Cardiff? Yeah, of course I was.
No, for Rene Schoofs. It was a guy that played there. It was this what did he play? 500 games.
No, 1,000 games.
1,000 games. That's insane.
So I got suspended that game. I got suspended 2 games and I got a 250 € fine. But anyways, you were on the Jumbotron because they put the Jumbotron him for 1,000 games. They presented him like a gold stick, silver stick, and then his jersey had his name, and then his number was 1,000 for the entire game. He played in the jersey. So
he played in the jersey that said 1,000
the whole game, the entire game. Talk about first off, the video was like 10 minutes, and you were like, I was just like sitting there, and I was sitting like, you just popped up, and I was like, what? I was like, wait, I know that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's that guy's like the ultimate pro, the ultimate teammate, just a competitor that's played there forever. And like they only play 50 games a year, and he's played 1,000 games.
1,000 games.
And he's like 3 years younger than me. He's only like 35.
I was breaking that down in my head because I was like, man, if you're only playing like 50 games a year and then like playoffs, I'm like, so you're playing like 65. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Oh yeah. Like he started playing like before he had pubic hair.
Yeah, he must have been like 60. He must have been 16, 15.
Yeah, and like he's won 5 championships now, I think, or 6.
Well,
he won back with me. We were the first team to win, which was 2009.
Did you play with like that McKnight? He's been there.
No,
forever.
So I was there. I was the era before him. Me and Justin Kelly won together and like led the league, and then McKnight came with
the year.
Whoever, the new guy. That guy's been there forever, and he was taller than me, he was skinnier than me, he was faster than me, he was better looking than me.
Not better looking though. Never better looking. Not a good locker room guy.
Thanks, buddy.
Not a good locker room.
Thank you. I needed that. I needed that.
Yeah, you do.
I needed that.
Yeah.
I think he's won like 4 times. I won once, but whatever.
Yeah, and I think he's got his German. Or no, he doesn't have his German passport. But somebody was like, he doesn't speak a lick of German, so like,
yeah, like probably doesn't even hang out with the guys. And I won in Denmark and the UK, so cheers, bud. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever team you went to, you just won. Yeah. No big deal. That's normal.
And it can sprechen ein bisschen Deutsch. And
yes.
The Deutsch Spieler ist mein Freund. So. Yes. Oh shit! I did it again. We haven't got into anything I wrote down. I haven't looked at my notes yet. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
What do you want to get into? Let's get into something.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Random questions.
Okay.
What is the Toews caddying story?
So man, I played golf with him last week, but it's the funny thing.
Like Jonathan?
Yeah, like actually played golf with him.
Not Devon.
No, not Devon. But I like 2000. It was right after school. I was going to play, I think, in Belgium. Like I played golf in the morning.
Pardon me, you played in Belgium too?
That was the Dutch. That was the team. I was in Belgium, but we played.
Was that flag?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't put that as part of your journey. Sorry, man.
Well, it's in the Dutch league, so it's still the same. It's just
right,
I was living in Belgium.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Belgium, if beautiful, loved it. But Toews, I was like, I played golf in the morning, and this was like right after they won the one Stanley Cup in like 2010, and they were like getting big, they were getting big. Like I played golf in the morning, and then the club pro was like, "Hey, I need you to caddy," and like I haven't caddied in like years. Like,
you used to be a caddy though.
I used to, yeah. It was like a
Captain Ronnie.
Yeah, get it in ya. I used to caddy just as like a summer job to make, because you make good money. Like, man, you're making straight. You're like a male stripper. Like you're just making straight cash, and like.
And you would know the course. You're a bit of a golfer. You're probably like, don't miss here, don't miss there. Oh, that's probably your 7-iron, eh?
Yeah, yeah, that's me. This is green Bermuda grass. It comes off a little hotter than blue Bermuda grass. To give him one of those stuff. But no, the club pro was like, "Hey, do you want to caddy for like Toews and his buddies?" And like it was Peter Regan and like another NHL, and I was like, "Fine, whatever." So I caddied for him, and like didn't tell him I played hockey. So we just like shot the shit the whole time. Like had some beers. Super nice guy. Like didn't tell him I played hockey. Didn't talk any hockey. He was super nice. He wasn't the best golfer back then. So like I was actually like having to like work and chase his ball. So like finished the round, shook his hand, took a picture with like him, Peter Regan, the other guys that were with us. And then like fast forward, like when I went to Blackhawks training camp.
And the caddy was there.
So I'm literally like sitting in the stall taping my stick, and it's like he's in my locker room for some reason, and I'm taping my stick, and it's like everybody else is kind of doing their own thing, and it's like him next to me, like 2 stalls down, and I'm like taping my stick, like kind of like I'm like I can tell he's staring at me, and I'm taping my stick, and he looks over and he's like, "Hey man, what's up?" And I'm like, "Hey, like how's it going?" And he's like he's like, "Hey, good to see you at another training camp again." And I'm like, "Oh no, man, this is my first one." And he's like, "Man, you look super familiar." And I was like, "Yeah, no, this is my first training camp." And he's like, "No, seriously though, man, like you look super familiar." And I was like, "All right, do you want me to tell you like where you probably recognize me from?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I told him, I was like, "Man, I caddied for you like 2 years ago or 3 years ago." He's like, "Fuck off, really? Like, fuck off." And I was like, "Yeah." And he literally, like, so everybody's like taping their stick talking. He literally yells across the room. He's like, Siebes, this guy used to caddy for me 3 years ago. Now we're playing in training camp. He's like, "How fucking shit am I at hockey?" And I was like, and everybody's just staring at me. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I just wanted to go under the radar. Like, I just wanted to get my per diem for the week and then get sent down to Rockford. Like, I just wanted to hang out.
And this wasn't like right out of college. This was years into pro.
Yeah, I was like a 28-year-old rookie in North America. Like, I had to do.
So when you were
party.
caddying for him, you were mid-20s.
I was like 20. It was when I was I graduated.
I was picturing like a 16-year-old.
No, I was like 24, man. And the worst part is, like last week when I went and played golf with him, it was like a whole bunch of like Hawks guys, and I played golf with him, and like I caddied for Brian Campbell was there, and I caddied for him and Toews, and they were like, "Man, you look super familiar." And I was like, "Jesus Christ, guys! Like you're gonna make me say I caddied for you? Like, can we just not talk about this?"
So you actually play golf with them now?
Yeah. So this time I actually got to play golf. I was in the presence of actually playing golf with him and like trying to win as much. He was like, "Do you want to play a game?" And I was like, "Please, not a cash game." I was like, "You guys make way more money than me, man."
Yeah. I don't know what Sheffield's dishing out this year, but yeah, I get it.
I don't think it's 10 million a year for just.
And I know I don't gamble either.
Yeah, I was like, I don't. Yeah, that Bush
I don't gamble about anything because you got to have it to gamble it, right?
But he's a way better golfer now. I'll give him that. Like, he's a good golfer. But like he
I don't know what it is with my guests. Last guy had just golfed with like Stastny and Michael Lyles, and now you're golfing with Toews and Campbell. And well, guess what, folks? Saturday, I'm golfing with 3 Sutherland Cup champions from Junior B. Jeff Van Nijen in episode 50, our captain Darren Fisher, and my centerman Adam Kennel. So we'll see you on the tees, folks, Saturday at 3.
Yeah, bring the gallery.
Yeah, that's why we're a little slower on pods this week, is because I'm going golfing with the boys, the Southern Cup champs, and we're gonna have a time. Maybe we don't make 10 million a year, but we're hitting Black Horse, I guess.
Well, he was good. He was good about it because he hit a good shot, and everybody was giving it to him. They'd be like, "Must be nice to just not play at all this year and work on your golf game," because he was injured. I don't like he says he was injured or said he missed all last year. So I was like, must be nice to be able to work on your golf game all year.
So he's pretty good, eh?
He's actually like, from when I caddied for him till now, he's like a million times better. Like, he's a sick golfer now. I was actually impressed. Wow. Like, super impressed. Like he's probably like a 2 to a 5 handicap. I'd give him.
Is that
like,
right?
Dude, he was from when I caddied.
Does he have children?
No.
Oh,
smart.
Well, yeah.
That's
okay.
why.
Whatever. You can be as good as you want. What?
Yeah, and he's making $10 million a year, so let the guy golf.
If that guy's not good at golf, and he's not athletic, you got issues, man. No, he should be good. Yeah. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Next question.
Okay.
Stu Bob's son's Laser Quest birthday party.
Great time.
Really?
Me, Dougie, Bouncy, Stu Bob, Bodie, the family, and like friends playing laser tag. Barry Beidos too. Is Barry Beidos laser tag?
Oh, so
And
you're
like,
saying in Barrie, Wales? Because I don't think anybody even knew what you just said, if any of that was English. Like,
oh, Barry
what?
Bados.
But I've been before that with all the names and like.
Oh yeah, like Ben Bound, Sam Duggan.
There you go. I didn't know what any of that was you were saying.
Yeah.
Who's
So
Dave?
I never said. I said.
You
I don't
didn't
think
say
I said
Dave?
Dave.
Oh, I thought you
No.
said Dave. You were. I didn't know.
What's in this? What's in this beer, man? It's hitting hard.
Okay, I didn't know what you said. You said a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like,
No.
"Whoa!"
So it was me.
I don't even know the story.
It was okay. So Stu Bob's son invited like Boundsy, like Ben Bounds, his wife. I think he invited
Jade.
me. Yeah. He invited Jade, Sam Duggan, me, Stu Bob was there, and like some of their friends, and like I think some of Bodie's friends, and they were like, "We're playing laser tag," and I was like, "I'm in." Like I'm in. You're sold me on laser tag. So like, I remember they were like, no, like running, no doing all this at the laser tag place. And,
No
like,
running and laser tag?
Well, that's what they were saying because it's like dark and you can collide. And like obviously our group.
How do you compete if you can't run?
Exactly. So like me and Dougie were like running and you just shoot like this thing in the ceiling and like
now I get it. It's Dougie for Duggan. God,
yeah,
darn it. That's what threw me off. I'm thinking Dougie Clarkson. You're thinking
no.
Dougie Duggan. I said Dave.
Yeah, that's teach me how to Dougie. There's two different. There's Dougie and then teach me how to Dougie. That's Clarkson. Teach me how to Dougie.
Okay, no, go ahead. Sorry,
but yeah, we brought the competitive edge to the laser tag where like we were like running. I remember like pinning up a kid against the wall and like shooting him in the chest, like holding his gun, like and like Stu Bob's there like loving it, like and like Bodie's loving it. He's running around and then like I'm shooting like the thing with Dougie.
How old are these kids? What type of birthday party are we at?
It was Bodie's, so Bodie had to be like.
I don't know Bodie.
Bodie's Stu Bob's son, so he's got to be 10, maybe 10, maybe I don't. I forgot.
And you're just dominating the kids at laser
like,
tag.
I'm like holding kids' guns, like so they can't shoot me, and like pinning up against the wall and just like, and then shoot like the main like thing you're supposed to shoot for like max points, and it makes a noise, and me and Doug, it's like it makes a noise, and it starts like flashing, and like me and Doug are like dancing and like doing these things like. I think that was the last birthday party we've ever been invited to because I was like,
oh man, no, that sounds fun. And like, if you like, there's guys that would go to a kid's birthday party and just sit there. And then there's guys that would go there and have fun and let the kid will remember that for a long time. Right.
Yeah. Like I remember picking like Bodie. He was like, he's like skinny, doesn't weigh anything. I remember like picking him up and using him as like a human shield to get to the other side. Like he was getting hit. And, like I was like, I'm not. Like I was like, oh man. I just remember like everybody was cheating. There was one guy that was taking it. It was like a dad who was taking it like way more serious than us. He was like tucking and rolling and like somersaults and like Dougie, like me and Sam Duggan were like, what the hell is going on? We gotta like step our game up. So we just started cheating because that's the only way to. If you want to win, you gotta cheat. Like,
no, yeah, well, you do, yeah. Cheating is trying a little bit sometimes. Okay, I don't even know where we're at here. We've just been chatting, so I guess I guess I'll ask about minor hockey in Chicago, which I'm basically going to tell you how it went. Chicago wasn't that big of a town, big a hockey thing. It was Team Illinois would come play AAA teams my age, and they'd get the shit kicked out of them. We would be the ones kicking the shit out of them, and then all of a sudden, like 10 years later, they're getting a lot better, and then all of a sudden, 20 years later, they're way better, and now. I think that's why like they don't play that many international competitions anymore is because all the US is getting way better and all right?
It's well yeah, like luckily I grew up like in the trenches. Like I played a half season of AAA. Like I played below that in like the trenches where like it was.
That's because you were so confused if you were a forward or a defenseman.
Well, yeah, that's because I kept switching positions every year trying to make a goddamn team. So I was like, I'll just like this. I was like, oh, this team needs a defenseman. I'll just play defense, try to make this team like this. Oh, this one needs a forward. The next year, I'll just do
glue guy, Ben.
Yeah, the guy like no one needed a good locker room guy because you didn't even have your own locker room. You had to take your gear home every day. So like it just wasn't meant for me. Youth hockey in Illinois was just not meant for me back then. I was ahead
Too
of my
much of a
time.
business. Too much of a business.
Yeah, too much of a business. Yeah, but like AAA, like it's insane. Like like how good kids are now, like in hockey, and like how crazy parents are here now, and like how much they pay to have their kid in AAA. Like they're paying like $30,000 a year for that. I'm like, and they have like 4 kids in AAA. I'm like, how the fuck do you guys afford this? For one, I'm like, how?
I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
I honestly, and there's like 4 or 5 AAA programs, and they're all good in Illinois, but it's like people fly, like people like move their families from like Florida to here to like, so their son can play, or like, it's insane. Like, honestly, like the hockey parents these days, I like see what they're talking about, and I'm like, what? What are you
I
doing?
know. It's like any business. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Until people lose their minds.
And like people, like parents are losing their minds. Like I remember like my dad and his, like my old coach, like coached a AAA team, and they were like midget. They might have been midget minor, like not anything like serious. And like I remember listening to the parents, like, oh, he's gonna move here with his grandma, and like they're gonna like he's gonna move here with his grandma and stay the year and go to high school, and like me and the dad are still gonna work at home. I'm like, the kid's 15, like just let him play with his friends back home. Like, what are you doing?
Well, and I just heard that in Ontario, whether like I know what I'm talking about or not, I just hear from people talking. This podcast. If I
It's all
say things that,
speculation.
yeah, exactly.
All
If I say
speculation.
things that are wrong, my bad. It's just me drinking a beer in my shed, folks. But I heard that come Bantam age, midget age in Ontario now is like, because there were so many people having a fake address in Toronto so their kid could play there. Like,
Come on.
they have now changed the rules that kids can play on any team at that age. You can play on any team. So now it officially is like junior. Like, your kid can go play for the Marlies if he's the best, or wherever, right? Downtown Toronto. So now they're but it's because everybody had a fake address anyways. And it's like, well, why bother trying to stop them? We may as well do
just
it.
embrace it. Yeah. Oh my God. Hockey parents are crazy, man. Like
my kid's almost 9 already, and it feels like yesterday he was born. And then to think of how fast it would be that like you're talking like that doesn't make any sense.
No, hey, I'm just saying you're gonna be like the thing that makes me laugh is I don't think like actual hockey players like are crazy hockey parents. It's all the other parents and like
definitely.
It's like hockey. I don't think hockey parents actually really care. And then like somebody's like, well, you played hockey. Like, why don't you get on the ice and like coach your son? It's like, nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna sit out here with the normal parents. Like, I don't want to coach.
No, I have. It's awesome around here, man. Like everybody's been great to me coaching. Like the kids have been great. The parents. I haven't been on a rep team. I haven't had to cut kids yet, but that's because of the COVID stuff. But like if I'm the coach and I got to start cutting kids in a small town, and then all of a sudden the parents are mad at me or something, it would suck. Because I don't like when people don't like me, right? Like you're the same as me. You don't like when people don't like you.
No.
It sucks.
I like people when they talk to me. I don't want them to be silent around me.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Well, there you go. Just don't get to that state. Like, I don't think like.
No, but I want to coach them because I think I could add some value to them. And like
Well.
You know?
Yeah. Have you seen some of the hockey coaches they allow to coach kids? Like they're teaching the systems in Germany where you're like, just dump the puck, rim it. Like, we're just going to rim it.
Yeah, just stand there at the red line. You'll be fine. Just stand there, right winger. Yeah. You guys aren't skilled enough, so just stand there.
That's such a good thing. You're not skilled enough. Just stand there. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So that's so you were in the slums your whole life in hockey, and then you somehow get to the I got it written down here. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. I got it written down here. No, I don't. Minor hockey to the Wenatchee Wild. What is the Wenatchee Wild?
So literally, like, I had the craziest, like, I played AA, which is like below AAA. So if you were throttling AAA teams back in like the early 2000s, think about a AA team. Like, yeah. And then I went like juniors in Oklahoma, which is like not really a great league, but I had like a great time. played good. And then I went to like, remember those like showcases where like you just go and like, do you never have those in Canada?
No, so like
thing?
that came up when Jeff Lavecchio, another American, came on when he
Yeah.
talked about showcases. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it sounds like a money grab to me, but like
it's 100% a money grab. Like
yeah,
this
because
is
what
like
we would have is spring hockey teams that are AAA hockey teams, and you go in tournaments, and people would
Yeah.
watch the tournaments. That's what.
Yeah. So that's like a showcase is you pay like $250, and then they say like how many scouts are going to be there, like what scouts from teams, and like I don't even know if they show up, but you basically get put on a team, you scrimmage, you have like 4 games or something over a weekend, and
You
like
don't
I
know
actually
any of the players. You
don't know any of the
coach.
players. Yeah, you don't know any of the players.
It's an all-star game.
It's like an all-star game. Like you basically, it's basically a money grab. Like let's be honest here. Like, and luckily, like I went, and Wenatchee was like a first-year team in the NAHL. Like they actually had their coach and assistant coach there, and I went to the showcase. I did good, and they were like, "Hey, we want to like tenure you," and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And they're like, "Oh, we want you to like sign." It was basically like you signed for the team like way before like they had the draft for the NAHL. Like, and like the funny thing is, I was like signing the papers, and like Wenatchee, like I had no idea where this was. I like went to like write it, and I like looked at the assistant coach, and he like had to spell it out for me because I was like, I don't even know.
So where is Wenatchee?
It's like 3 hours south of Seattle. Like it's beautiful. Like it's in like it's like Yakima, like it's like in the mountains. It's like desert climate. Like it's the Columbia River goes like right through the middle. Like it's known for like the apple capital of, it used to be the apple capital of the USA. Like there's apple orchards everywhere in the mountains. Like it's gorgeous. Like no one knows about it. And now it's an absolute hockey hotbed. If you want to go play in it's in the BCHL now, and they won the BCHL their first year.
Wenatchee.
Yeah, Wenatchee won so they were in the NAHL, like the North American Hockey League, and like they're so close to Vancouver, like they're like close to BC. So they got put in I think they went like 2 or 3 years in the NAHL. They went into the BCHL, like the British Columbian Hockey League, and they won it the first year. They smoked everybody.
And those are all good. Everybody's getting scholarships out of that.
Yeah, and like that's a good league, and like Wenatchee's like an absolute, like the town is hockey crazy. Like they don't have any other, I don't think they have any other pro sports. So like hockey, they built like a brand new facility. Like it's like a 4,000 seat arena. It's nice.
How big's the town?
Oh man, I think it's like there's like East Wenatchee and normal like Wenatchee, and I think it's like 100,000 on each side or something. 150,000.
There's that many people, and I've never heard of Wenatchee until today.
Wenatchee is like, it's like a hidden gem, and it is gorgeous, man. And like
is that right?
It's honestly, Google, like if you Google like Wenatchee Mountains or like Columbia River, like it's like I didn't have any idea what I was getting into, and I got there and I was like, dude, this place is. And like brand new arena, like the fans were like nuts, and like, oh,
this is back when you were playing there.
This is back when I was playing there, because I was the first year the team. So I was the first year the team was, like the first year they had, and like we made it to the finals. We lost in like the national championship. Like we lost to who's the Cooper guy that just won in Tampa Bay? He was the guy in St. Louis.
John Cooper.
Yeah, I lost to John Cooper in St. Louis Bandits. Like he was the coach. Like Keith Kincaid was the goalie. He's like an NHL backup for years. It's like, why?
Yeah.
What the hell are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We got John Cooper, who's won all these championships, Stanley Cups.
You do the best you can every time.
Yeah.
But Wenatchee, I've never heard of the place, and you know what that reminded me of is when it comes to like the pod here and like the things I've learned and like the people I'm meeting, it's so much fun. Is like I didn't know about Wenatchee, and then I also didn't know about the country Åland, which is in between Sweden and Finland. And like when it says like where people have listened from, and it got over 30 countries, and the new country was Åland, and I'm like, I've never heard of this country before, and I Google it. Next thing you know, I know about it. And so cheers to whoever listened in Åland. Thank you. Now I know about your country.
We know you exist. Congrats, man.
No, seriously, it's awesome because like I love learning this shit, and I know now I want to go to Wenatchee.
You know what I just realized? I think a guy I played against in Wenatchee and my college roommate was your teammate in Cardiff.
In Wenatchee?
I played against him in Wenatchee. He played in Fairbanks, and he was my roommate in college for 3 years.
No.
Phil Cook.
What?
Phil Cook. He played in Cardiff.
No,
you never played with Phil Cook?
No, I've never even heard of him.
What? He was a goalie. He came to Cardiff, I think.
Phil Cook?
I think 2014, 2015.
Phil Cook sounds out of shape and like not very good goalie.
I thought you played with Matt. I'm gonna Google. Like I'm literally by a computer. I'm gonna.
Google you're not Googling while you're potting. Come on. I don't know who's Phil. I don't know him. Don't know him, but he never played with me.
Really?
No.
Oh no. Man, that's depressing. Oh, I don't want to look at you.
Sorry.
Man, I bet he did.
Not ever. You played on way more. Okay, we got more questions though. Okay.
Yeah, go. Keep going.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So you go to Mankato, not the biggest school because I didn't even know they were the Mavericks.
Nope. Ranked number 1 in the nation though.
You're still what?
We were ranked number 1 in the nation. Keep going. Yeah.
When?
Last year they got knocked out. Not when I was there. God no.
The Mavericks were ranked number 1 last year.
I think so. Yeah, they were ranked like super.
You think so now? You sounded way more confident earlier.
I think they were top 5.
That's because you're looking on the internet while you're potting. You better get back in the pocket here. Look at me. Don't look over there. You stop it. One good player you played with there though was Kurt Davis, the defenseman. I played against him when I was with Sunderewski in the Challenge Cup, and he played for
Stavanger.
Stavanger, where the GOAT just was. That guy. Yep. They were doing some power play face-off stuff and some other power play stuff, and he was quarterbacking it. And man, that guy could play if he was just a little bit bigger, eh?
I played against him last year in the DEL2, which is wild.
Yeah, and it's wild that he's in the DL2. And then I when I saw that you played with him, I looked up how he's doing now because I had played against him, and I'm like, the guy's putting up over a point a game in the DL2 as a defenseman.
And his team had like 5 D-men, and they pretty much played 4 D-men because I think the 5th one was a German. So he played a ridiculous amount of minutes a game. Like it was like 35, 40 minutes a night. And he's still the same. Like in college, I remember watching him and he was so sick. Like,
yeah, and he doesn't get tired. He probably could play 35 minutes and he'd be fine, right?
Yeah, and like the stories I have of that guy from college, like he was like, his nickname was Dirty Curdy. Like he was a wild man in college. Like he was hilarious in college. Like
Dirty Curdy?
Dirty Curdy was his nickname.
Okay, well, yeah, we shouldn't get into that then because college, like there's the stories that went on there, in U.S. college, like it's nuts the things that go on. But okay, more stories then. So you went to the Mavericks, and you did. Are you still looking up Fat Phil Cook or whatever his name is?
Yeah, but it was 2013, 2014. You weren't there.
Sorry, I don't know if you're Fat Phil. I'm just kidding, but I was not there. I've never met you. Okay, you went to that Maverick school. Get off the computer. Get back in the pocket.
Done.
Stop it. It's like my kids with screens. God damn it. Were you a defenseman or a forward in college?
Defenseman. I played forward in juniors, switched to defense in playoffs and nationals, then committed as a defenseman. Fucked.
In nationals.
Yeah.
This is some more American bullshit. I don't know what we're talking about. Nationals. So you're playing for who, and you're playing nationals against what? That's in the NAHL with Wenatchee?
Yeah, so you win like your region, and then you go to nationals, and there's like different regions. I forgot what region we were in.
So you had played forward all year, then you
played forward the entire season, and then at like during playoff times, I think we had like an injury, and our coach was like, "We need a defenseman," and I was like, "I'll give it a go." And then that's like I think I was like a point a game or something in playoffs and nationals, and then like committed as a defenseman, and like I was like, man, I've never played a full season at D. I got to school and they were like, yeah, it's like, you've played D your whole life. I was like, no, I don't play defense. I was like, this is my first time ever playing a full season at defense. So like, we'll see how this goes. And they were like, but you committed here for like 4 years. I was like, can I leave? They're like, no, you can't leave. I was like, oh shit. Good to know.
Yeah. So they thought you were a defenseman, and then
they thought I was like they thought I was like a defenseman, and like Kurt Davis was there when I was there for like 2 years, and like he's super offensive. There was another like Ben Youds was another guy. He's like super offensive, and then there's like me who's super offensive. We had all offensive guys, and they were like, well, these guys are upperclassmen. They were like, you're a freshman. They were like, you kind of got to play like stay at home D, and like I'm an idiot. Like I can't stay at home.
Oh, stop it! You're not an idiot.
Well, I was like, I'm not an idiot, but I'm like, I have like a motor mouth. Like I have like, I'm for sure got ADHD where like I can't sit still for like, I can't play stay at home D. I can't like move the puck and then like not want to be like, well, fuck, I'm going to skate up in the rush. Like I like to score goals. So like,
yeah, no, I know you want to be a part of it.
Yeah. I want to be close to the guys. Like,
I know. Like, you want to be around the boys. Like, you don't want to be standing back there hanging out.
No. And I don't
now that you're speaking of this, there was one thing that came to my mind while we were talking about it was the defenseman that I found hardest to play against, because I'm picturing you playing against you as a left D man and I'm a right winger.
Yep.
The D men I hated playing against the most were the ones that could actually skate. Because if you ever did have to dump it in or whatever, right? Like, and you're going to chase them on the forecheck, the ones that can get it away from you and you look ridiculous on the forecheck, and they're just wheeling it up the ice, and you're like back checking, breathing hard, and you're like, this is brutal.
Like, why did I dump
like
it?
you're skating at the guy, you soft chip it in the corner, and he just is like, oh, well, thank you. And he just turns around, picks up the puck, wheels around the net, and you're like,
I'm never going to catch it.
I'm changing now, and I'm never dumping it in again. Right. And that's what I picture you doing.
No, that's literally like every once in a while I'll try to mix in a cutback, but like I'm one of the, like, I always screw up. Like Lordo hated it because Lordo's like, you're too fast. Don't ever cut back. Cause I'd beat the guy and I'd cut back and I'd just get buried from behind. Cause the guy was like, you
did an extra move. You didn't need to.
Didn't need to. So like,
it's like when you play senior A and you're like, I thought he was going to buy what I was selling, but he's still standing there.
you cut back right into the guy.
Oh my God, I got to make another move because you're still standing there.
Yeah, you cut back and you're like, oh, you were that far behind me. Like, shit, I just went right back into you.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, that was me on the forecheck, though. I would get you on the next cut back.
Yeah, next cut back, yeah, you'd probably get me.
I'd be there. I'd trap you.
But like I thought I was fast. Like I was like, man, I'm pretty fast. But then I saw like Forns, and I was just like, man, this guy's on a whole nother level.
Was a freak, wasn't he? That's Gleason Fournier for the folks. That he hasn't came up on the pod yet, but that guy was a freak. He's like a gazelle.
He would pick, but he was one of those guys. Like he didn't really mix in cutbacks. He'd pick the puck up and he'd just keep skating, and like you'd see him like skating with good skaters, like forechecking, and he'd just like slowly like pull away from him, but he didn't look like he was skating hard. And then, like the gap would keep getting bigger and bigger, and you're just like,
do you know what he was like?
Oh, what do you got there?
Mullen shop, brown ale. No, but what he was like a fucking swan. He was cruising through the neutral zone, and his upper body it was completely still. He was looking at you like, what the fuck are you looking at? And he's looking left, he's looking right. But then you saw his legs moving, and you're like, and all of a sudden he's in there like swimwear, baby.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that it blew my mind. He never like actually made it. He never got like a decent chance in like the AHL because he skated so effectively and efficiently. Like he didn't, like you said, like it didn't look like he was skating hard. And then the next thing you know, he was like blowing by you, and you're like, dude, the guy didn't even look like he was skating.
If that guy's nickname's not the Swan, well, it's because I don't play hockey anymore.
Well, it should be. But like the guy literally, I don't know how many end-to-ends he's had in his career, Cardiff, but he's had a lot of end-to-ends.
And it's just a goddamn swan cruising through the middle, looking at the fans going, hey, How are
Yeah,
you?
I'm gonna
And
score
and
this one.
yeah, I'm gonna go skate through everybody. And Bob's your uncle, and
Yeah.
yeah,
See you later.
Billy's
Yeah.
your goat. Yeah.
Yeah. but like fans were shocked when he went to like the Alps League, and they're like, well, he'll be back next year. I'm like, he ain't coming. I'm like, he ain't coming back. I'm like, he's gonna be perfectly fine over there, and he's gonna be there
Where
for
did he
another
go
4.
now? Didn't he just sign somewhere?
Do you want me to get on Google? I
No,
swear
no,
to God,
don't. Nope. Nope. Doesn't
he
matter.
was. I know he was in
It doesn't
Balzano.
matter.
I know he was in Balzano. I know he signed back in the Alps League. I'm pretty sure. Like I think like
In the
yeah,
Alps League? Okay. I didn't know where he signed, but like that guy can play.
yeah, like he's an unbelievable player. Like there was the fact that he was able to, like Cardiff was able to keep him around that long was shocking to me, because he is an unbelievable skater, and like
Well, and
he can
that's
play
what
in any
Cardiff
league.
does to guys, right? Like when I saw Joey Martin the first year, and like it was our first year in Cardiff, like I didn't have the ties I do now and all that. The first year I met Joey Martin and I saw him play and I practiced with him, and I was old and I was fat, and I said, Joey, I need to help you. You need to
Yeah,
go. You need to spread your wings. And
and
it wasn't
fly.
for like 6 or 7 years until later and then finally he spread his wings and he's like, yeah, man, like, yeah, I got to do it now. And I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
you sure do.
you do.
I'm glad you didn't leave till now, because now we got a podcast, but thanks.
No, yeah, like man, watching Joey, like I don't think fans actually understand like how much hard work, and like how he practices is how he's like the hardest working guy ever. And like he's
He's the
so
same all the
skilled.
time. He's just a
He's
solid dude.
he's a solid dude. He's a great on a night out, the best guy on a night out, and he's just puts in the work, and he's sick at hockey. I'm like, the fact that they had him for what, 6 years? Like they had him for 6 years.
And Foreigners, right? Like they had both of them, and you're like those are two players that, like, my God.
And then you got Joey Haddad, who you can't get the puck from in the corner. You just cutbacks 8,000
Oh,
times.
the big ass. Yeah, the big ass and the one timer.
Big ass one timer and just big lips, and that's all Joey. That's
Oh,
Joey
baby.
Haddad in a nutshell.
Yeah, and a hell of a cook that I still need to have a cook off with. He said he's coming on. He's been a little busy,
Hey.
but now that he's a swamp rabbit, maybe we'll have to cook rabbit on here and see who wins.
The chef, man, he's like
I've never
Joey
cooked
Haddad.
rabbit. Yeah, well, he thinks he's the chef. Yeah, he hasn't seen me cook, but we'll see.
And cook off then, like you.
I want to have a cook off on the pod while we talk.
Hey,
But
yeah,
I don't. I actually don't have water out in the shed, so she could be tough.
Just beer. You can only season things in beer. We can only do beer seasoning.
I'll get the raclette out. Do you know what a raclette is?
Come on, man. I played in France with you. Like everybody knows what raclette is.
You didn't play in France with me, but yeah, no, that was what I did in Germany. I never played in France. We haven't even talked about France yet.
Wait, you never played in France?
I played exhibition games against them, but I didn't play in France.
But raclette, man. Woo!
Oh, baby. Isn't that the best? Nobody around here knows about it. And I told people about it, and they're like, well, we don't have that here. I'm like, Canadian Tire has some in stock right now.
Yeah, we should get it, because like
it's here. It's here. It's in Canadian Tire right now.
Oh man, I didn't know what it was, and then like somebody was like, "Come over." Like he's American, but like he's been in France. His wife's French forever, and he was like, "Come over." Like it was my first week. He's like, "We'll have raclette," and I was like, "What the hell is raclette?" And he was like, "It's basically like you just melt cheese and put it on like a baguette, potatoes, meat. You just melt cheese and put it on everything." I was like, "I'm in."
Okay, I'm gonna explain what it is in my eyes. Is
oh, okay, what is it?
Yeah, well, you plug it in electrically, right? And then there's a plate on top, right? Yep. There's a plate on top, and there's hot coils, and the top plate is community food. Anybody can have whatever they want off that, and it's vegetables, it's shrimp, it's beef, it's bread, and then underneath you get your own tray, right? That's your personal tray. You back the fuck off everybody's personal tray. I'm making this myself. And then you get some dips involved. You get some, but like
some red wine.
You get some red wine, but like it takes so long because everybody's making one tray at a time, and you're talking, you're eating, you're cooking, and everybody's doing it together. It's the best dinner party
Ever.
experience you can have, right?
I would put it up there. It's better than fondue.
I agree.
It's 50 times better than fondue in my eyes.
I just did it at the cottage last week and so we would have a kids portion of the night where they could do hot dogs and stuff on it, and then there'd be an adult portion of the night.
Yeah.
It's the best dinner party you can have.
Yeah, I'll plug Raclette. Like, I'm with you. Like, Raclette, everybody needs to have a Raclette machine in their house. And like my buddy on the team was like, man, he was like, it's so bad. Like, he's like, I have like a 6-person Raclette one for parties. And he's like, I got a 2-person one for me and my wife. And he's like, me and my wife have the 2-person one all the time. He's like, we have Raclette like once a week.
I've never seen a 2-person one.
He's like, I got a 2-person one. I'm like, man, that's a lot of cheese. He's like, trust me, it's a lot of cheese. I'm like,
oh boy. No, but you don't have to have that much cheese. You can have it however you want, right? You can do whatever you want, but the cheese is pretty good.
The fromage, in France.
Yeah, no, raclette is a French word, but I learned about it in Germany. That was like our New Year's Eve parties as a hockey team would be like 3 raclettes on a table, and you get all the wives and kids and everybody around, and you do raclette, man, and it's the best dinner party you can have. So everybody, folks, look it up. If you don't know what it is.
Yeah, raclette.
Right?
Get it in you.
Okay. Oh. Next question.
Okay.
We didn't really talk about the HYC Herentals, but I don't really care because we talked too much. And the Dutch League, you tried to talk about it earlier. I'm not having it. I heard the cuisine sucks there, though.
In Belgium?
Yeah.
No, man.
Guy told me he doesn't even know what their signature dish is. What are they making?
Mussels. Brussels from mussels. Mussels,
really? Like Brussels from what?
Mussels from Brussels. Like, mussels is like steak. Like, man, the food in Belgium was unreal.
Oh fuck, you're in Sorry for swearing, folks. F-bombs. I keep thinking you're in the Netherlands.
No, not the Netherlands. I'm guessing
My bad.
Netherlands food's probably poop.
Well, and that's what the guy had said, right? He said that like, I don't even know what their dish is. But you're in Belgium. I'm sorry. I misspoke. Belgium. Yeah. Welcome.
Belgium.
Talk
beer,
to me.
Good beer in Belgium, and you get chocolate waffles, and come on.
Is Belgium the place with the fancy beer that's like wine? Like where you drink it in the wine glass? Like,
I'm guessing you could.
Definitely is.
You probably could. Yeah. Like there's thousands and thousands of different beer in Belgium. It is insane how many micro brewers were like, that was like in Belgium where it started. Like, it's insane how many like people like micro brew and stuff. Like, it is insane how many different types of beers there are there.
Definitely, there's a guy I played with in Bietigheim that used to drive to Belgium to buy beer. 100%.
Yeah, the beer, and the funny thing is, like, they have like every year they vote the best beer like in the state, like in the world or in Belgium, and like this one company wins it. It's like I think it's Westflaten or something like that, and it wins it every year. And it's literally just like a brown bottle with no label on it, and it wins it every year. It's like somebody that just like brews it. They're like, screw it. Like, I think it's called Westflaten or something. And it's like it's the best beer, like hands down, like year after year after year.
Well, I remember the guy used to bring back like bottles of beer, and they were the same percentage as wine. And you drink them in like a glass that was like wine. And like, I remember the wife saying like, you really should drink those.
Yeah,
like you really shouldn't. And then like he'd bring them and you drink them, and then you're like, whoa, didn't know that was going to happen. Right.
Yep. That was my first weekend in Belgium. Like, I was drinking Duvel, which is like the same thing. It's like, I think it's like 9 or 12%. And it's like a tiny little bottle like this. And I bought like a 6-pack, and I drank 3 of them in 30 minutes. And the one guy was like,
yeah, you have no idea what you're doing. Yeah.
Well, he's like, you're in for a night. And I was like, man, these Duvels are good. He's like, yeah, it means the devil. And I was like, oh God, I'm in for a night.
Yeah, so I thought we were going to be talking about the Netherlands, not Belgium. I think we did that.
Yeah.
You're the top scoring D-man. Way to go.
Yep, there we go.
So you got a chance then in Nottingham, because like those big arena teams, Nottingham, Cardiff, Belfast, Sheffield, they all can sign a lot of different players. But you did get out of the Dutch league, and you got a chance in Nottingham, and you've played there for 3 years of your life, right? So
Yeah.
um that they took a chance on you, right? Coming out of the Dutch league, I guess, maybe.
Well, like my coach in Belgium knew the head coach in Nottingham.
And said he's good. Take him.
Well, he said, "Hey, I got a player. He's got a British passport. He's good." And the coach, Corey Nielsen, was like, "Okay, sure he is. Like he played in Belgium. Like, so he signed me just as like a fill-in spot for the CHL, and he was gonna trade me to. I think he was gonna trade me to Glasgow or like Braehead. Like he just wanted me for like a training camp guy to like fill a spot. So he signed me, and then I got there and I like started playing, and he was like, "Shit, he's actually like
he's better than the other guys."
Well, he's like shit. He's actually like can actually play hockey. So like I guess so he kept me like, but he always gives me a hard time. Like he always like, man, I was gonna trade you like a week after training camp. Like he's like, you were already gone. Like,
but
yeah,
you did stick it out, and you had a good year the first year, like 20 points. But then I saw your second year was like 40 something points, right?
Yeah, that was the year. So my first year I played, we were all right. We weren't that good. Second year,
I think that's when I played this one of the years.
Yeah, yeah,
I played one of the years.
That was the year. The first year was the year we played against each other. Where like we were in the CHL, and like we had a whole bunch of like good imports. I don't know. We just weren't that good. Like we were not good. And then the second year was when I played. So the first year I played defense the whole year. And then the second year I played defense at the start. Somebody got hurt and I switched to forward. And then I flipped in between game. Like literally in games, I'd switch from like forward to defense. And I loved it.
In games?
In game. Like, so I'd play. So I was a forward, and then 4-on-4, I'd switch to defense. That was like the thing.
So like, there's not many people. Okay, I'm getting really sidetracked now because there's some shit I want to talk about. But like when I was playing in Cardiff, I don't know what Nielsen was like as the coach, but like in Cardiff, Lordo had like your responsibilities as a player, especially in the defensive zone, neutral zone, controlled forechecks, everything. You needed to know where you were going at all times.
Yep.
And then you're switching mid-game.
Yep.
And needing to know both positions
and
where to be.
Oh yeah. So like,
and there's not many people that can do that.
No, and
be comfortable doing it. Now I'll let you talk.
So Nielsen was the same way. Like him and Lordo coach very similar. Like they're very
detailed.
Well, they're detailed, but I call them hockey nerds. Like they're hockey nerds. Like they love the way the game's played, like how it's like they
Are
love
you a hockey nerd?
No, because like I'm like let me just go and skate fast and see what happens. And like, but that's what I needed. Like that's the one thing about Corey and Lordo that I liked was like they kind of like they have systems. Well, they have like systems, but within those systems, you were pretty free. Like as long as you did those systems
structure, yeah,
as long as you had a little bit of structure, you were pretty much free to do whatever. Unless like every once in a while I'd veer off a little course and they'd like Corey would give me the finger on the ice and I'd be like, okay, I need to like.
No, but like, and when you veered off path, like I remember doing it. Like if you did something that was out of the ordinary, you'd have to either explain why you did it.
Yep.
Or you would be like, that was dumb. Right?
Yeah. You'd like the video the next day, you'd get PP slapped. Like you'd for sure get PP slapped. Like Corey would call you into the office and he'd be like, what? He'd be like, that was the worst decision I've ever seen in a hockey rink. And you're like, all right, I won't do that again. But like,
well, that's why you play wingers. So they don't say that.
No,
right? Because like defense, they say that. For wingers, they're like, why didn't you block that? And I'm like,
I didn't want to get
just
hit
outside again.
I just missed it.
Just a touch outside.
Where you give the old token, like one knee down, you're like, please don't hit me, please don't hit me.
God, it's the regular season. I know the league's the real thing here.
See, like, oh man, but yeah, like I didn't mind. Like I jumped in between like mid game, and I loved it because like I didn't mind. Like his systems were easy. Where like you you just pretty much and like Corey was like play defense. He's like don't get scored on, and same with Lordo. They're like be good defensively, like get the puck out, and like if you can join the rush, join the rush. Like that's pretty much it. And like that was both like him and Corey and Lordo coached very similar, which like was super easy to like get. And then like talking to like Sheffield's Fox, like his like the coach, he coaches very similar. So I'm kind of like that's why I wanted to go to Sheffield. Was like it's super similar to Lordo and Nielsen. So I'm like,
and with your skating, like I guess there's probably not that many small rinks around anymore. I was thinking like smaller rinks, but like when they get you in Sheffield and like someone dumps it in your corner, you're just gonna that like I hated playing in Sheffield. I love the Big Blue 10 because like I couldn't get around anymore and like I my knee wasn't good, but like you get in the big ice, man, and like if you can skate, it was like it was awful for me. I was
so
like
so you didn't like Edinburgh. You didn't like Edinburgh, where it's like bigger than Olympic size rink. Like
well, like, but they were brutal, so I kind of did like it, right? Like, and the ice was hard and it was cold, so I was like, yeah, I can do this. But like, you get me into one of those warm new buildings, whew, I'm asleep real quick.
I don't blame you one bit.
But that's how it was. Like, if they're not full and there's not fans banging on the glass and it's not cold, it's like, geez, it's warm in here.
What are we doing? Yeah, what are we doing? It's hot. I'm sweating in warm-ups. Why am I sweating?
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, but like D and forward, love it. I'll switch mid game. It doesn't bother me. I'll sign somewhere as a forward and play defense the whole year, or vice versa. It's
I honestly I think that's like you'll keep getting jobs until you don't want them, because you can do everything. You can do whatever a team needs. You got her, and every team needs a guy like that. I know I was not that. I couldn't even play center. I couldn't play defense. I couldn't play goalie. I couldn't play anything but right. Some days I could play left wing if you really challenged me.
If you needed to, I'd switch to the other side.
But I wouldn't fucking like it. Okay. Serious questions now. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Very serious. Okay. Your 2 years in Nottingham. What is the Apple remote story?
Oh God.
With Cam Jansen.
Yeah, Cam. So Cam Jansen came to our team my second year, and Cam would always get to the rink 2 hours before like a practice to stick handle, which I thought was hilarious because like if anybody knows Cam Jansen, he's a fighter. Like he fights. He's the toughest man alive. But he'd come to the rink to stick handle and like
every day
he was at the rink 2 hours before, like sticking. He had like those pucks that like slid on any surface, like, and he'd always stick handle in the locker room. And we had an Apple TV, and like the one day I went in there on an off day and like the battery was kind of dying, or like something was going on where like it wouldn't work. And then I realized you could get an app on your phone that would like do the remote on your phone, like on your iPhone, but you could also use the remote too. So like Cam would come in, he'd stick handle, he'd grab the remote, and he'd never give it to anybody else. So he'd always put on the NHL highlights. So
you'd have to watch the NHL highlights while he's stick handling?
Yeah, so he'd always put on the NHL highlights, which like guys
that shit would not gel with me. Sorry. I don't want to watch NHL highlights because we're not playing there.
But he loved
I wouldn't be stick handling.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be stick handling. So he'd come in and he'd like grab the remote, and I'd be there. And like if he wanted to go down, I'd go up, and like it would be like a 15-minute battle of him trying to get like
and he didn't know what was happening.
And he didn't know what was happening. So like he'd always be like with the remote, and like it would be like a battle. Like he'd go down, I'd go up, and he'd be like, this fucking piece of shit. And he'd always be like blaming the remote. And like Cam's like a big, strong, like
Yeah,
like
I wouldn't want to go near him.
So like he snaps fast, so he's like, this piece of shit, like this goddamn thing. And like finally, like it would be like a 5-minute battle, him trying to get the highlights, and he'd finally get it. And he'd hit play, and he'd like put the remote down, and I'd go like, so I'd wait, and then I'd go back to the main menu with like this goddamn fucking thing, and like he'd lose it. And then he'd be like Matthew Myers was on our team. He'd be like, Matthew, I'm sick of this thing. Like, I'm done with this thing. And he'd give it to him. And I wouldn't do it for anybody else. So like Matthew would be like, Cam.
And he'd be like, what's wrong with it? It's fine.
Yeah, he'd be like, it's fine, man. Like everything's working. And Cam would be like, and it got so bad that he bought a new battery for it, thinking it was the battery. And then like,
how long did you let this go?
November to April, man. It was a lot.
Shut up. You went the whole time?
Every day, like didn't say anything to anybody. Like this is the only secret I kept.
Hold on, you did this to yourself? You didn't even tell anybody?
I told, like, finally towards the end, the guy next to me started figuring out, and like it got.
You were just doing this for your own pleasure?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Like, yeah, no one knew.
I would have to tell someone.
No, so like towards like the last.
But I'd be scared of him. Yeah, I
wouldn't. That's why.
Anybody.
That's why I didn't tell anybody. I was terrified that he was gonna absolutely kill me. So I was like, but it got so bad that he bought 2 remotes, and he'd stand right in front of the thing, and he'd be clicking both remotes, and like Yuri Kolnick.
You fucked his mental health up with that, man. Eh?
Like Yuri Kolnick, who played like in the NHL for like 2 seasons, was like laughing at him, and like Cam would accuse him of having his own remote and be like Yuri, show me your hands. So like guys had to show him their hands thinking like they had another remote, and like it was just me and my phone the whole time.
So did he ever figure it out?
I don't think he did. I honestly don't think he did.
If he listened to this would be the first time he hears about it.
Somebody might have like said something to him, but like, yeah, like from like November till April, like he had no idea. And like, I don't think anybody told him, which I'm glad, because like I feel like he might sign back in the Elite League next year for like Nottingham and freaking come bash me.
Oh no, he wouldn't. Yeah, it'd be funny if he did, but
it would be. It'd be good.
yeah, because no, it wouldn't be actually, because I saw what he did to my buddy Tyson Marsh. Yeah, no, we don't need that.
Yeah, he's a scary.
Don't need him back. Stick with podcasting, Cam. Stick with podcasting. It's better for you. I'm sure you're getting all your aggression out through podcasting. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I don't think he might know. I don't think he actually cares, but yeah, like I
find it really kind of funny that you didn't tell anybody about it, because like for me, I have a real hard time like not telling people about stuff. Like it's like when I decided to start this, or like with what happens with it, like I have to tell people. I'm like, I'm having this guy on, I'm like, God, I'm annoying. I should stop talking.
Yeah, I literally had to keep it a secret because I was afraid if he found out when I was like still there. But
and if he had 2 remotes and he's standing there in front of if he found out at that point, fuck man, you better hit the airport.
Yeah. I was gonna leave early departure from the team right in playoff time.
Holy moly. Okay, next question then. What is there a story about Daddy's home with him?
Yeah. He like when there was a scrum in front of the net or like anything, and he like wasn't directly involved, he'd come like barge his way in
and say like, Daddy's home.
Yeah, and like I remember I was like grabbing somebody, he like barged his way in and he's like, Daddy's home, and like I couldn't like keep it serious. I was dying laughing when he said it.
No, I actually think he said it quite a bit. I talked to Hendo about it. Yeah, he had to fight him a couple times. Hendo fought him a couple times, and like, man, like those guys were making millions to fight, and then they come over to the UK League, and then you got like my buddies that were like playing the Central League, the East Coast League, like they could hang in there with them. They could hang in there with them, and they were fighting them all that year. And they never got their payday, right?
No, the one thing that like blew my mind was like usually when like NHL guys, like tough guys come over, like they want to play like hockey. Like they don't want to fight. They want to like actually play hockey.
I know exactly where you're going with this. Cam knew exactly what he was. He knew exactly his role, and he was like, this is what I'm doing.
He honestly, the first game I played with him was in the Big Blue tent. He like flew in that day. And I remember him coming up to me.
I remember
like,
playing that game.
He was like, I love it. Ice is small. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, dump it in my corner. I was like, and he does that weird like inside out where you can't, like the D-men can't cut back or they're going to get killed. So they have to go up the wall and they're going to get killed anyways. And I'm just like, this guy's terrifying, like terrifying.
And I would like, and then like for me, I was playing third line, right? And he was a third liner. So I was like,
he was my
holy,
third line.
And I'm like, holy shit. Like I'm going out there with him, Kiefer, all the boys. And I'm like, okay, let's do this.
I'll keep my stick down. I'm not gonna hit anybody.
But like that, like, and but then him, like, it's like he's the same height as me, and I'm like, how, like, and he's three times thicker than me, like three times.
I remember going to lunch with him like his first week in Nottingham, and like we went to lunch, and I was like, Cam, like, who's like the toughest NHL guys you fought? And he was like, oh, Derek Bugard, like George Larocque. Like he was like Tony Twist or something. And I was like, Cam, why are you fighting Derek Bugard? He's 7 feet tall. You're 5'11". Like, what are you doing? Like, why? Why are you
Well, that's the only way they could make it. That's the only way they're making their money. And good for him to know his role and know what was going to make him money, because he did play it to a T. And he practiced as hard as he could. And he made a great living for himself with his skill set, right?
He honestly, like, he played, like you said, he plays it to a T, but when he came over to Nottingham, like, he didn't change his playing style one bit. Like,
and most of them, like Westgarth with Belfast, he was like, I want to come over and play hockey. I want to dust it off on the half wall. I want to play hockey. Where Cam Jansen came over and he's like,
I'm chipping it.
I am a third line player and I am going to chip it in my corner. I'm going to kill that guy. Right, and then I'm gonna come into the scrum after the whistle and say, "Daddy's home." And
the daddy's home thing got me. Like, that was the one time I was like, "What?" He'd barge in, like he'd like high elbow people, and no one wants to grab him in a scrum.
And everybody's getting out of the way, and then
he just like, "Daddy's home," and and like the refs were like, "This is."
But like, and that's what's wild is like my buddy that plays in the Central League his whole career, or in the East Coast AHL or a little bit, but like that he's willing to do that for the Cardiff Devils and everybody, right? Like you're willing to bite off that for everybody around, like the fans, the team, the like everybody. Like you give that guy an inch, he's gonna take it all, right? And us Cardiff Devils were like, no, you're not doing it. And it was Hendo, it was Batchy, it was all the boys that were like, you're gonna have to fight all of us if you're gonna, you know.
Which was good, because like you said, like if he could get away with it, he was gonna get away with it. And like I think it was actually impressive with how many guys, like Salters had a couple good fights with him too. Like Lee Salters is a big, strong guy.
Best looking guy I've ever seen.
Everybody says that. Like I never played with him, but everybody was like,
oh, did you not think he was good looking?
I never like really checked him out on the ice, but I remember he had like the long hair, and I was like, he's pretty rugged. Like, but like everybody was
like, he took his helmet off during the Welsh national anthem, and then sprayed water in his hair and flicked his hair back, and you just heard the whole crowd just go, oh, and you heard the guys go.
I hope my wife's not looking at him right now. Like,
she'll be Googling him, but
man.
He's like a fine wine. He's getting better looking with age.
Is he?
Yeah,
man.
Check out the YouTube channel. You should see that gorgeous fella. Where are we at here now?
Who knows?
Me neither. So Daddy's home. Second year's a big year. So then you go back to North America. That's a strange one. This is going to be a long episode. Holy moly. Unless we're not going to go through it all. But why'd you go back to North America? Just short form. Why'd you go back to North America? Do you think you're a prospect again?
No. Got a random phone call from like the GM of Rockford. He's good friends with Paul Thompson. Paul Thompson for like the last 2 years was like, there's a good guy in this league. You should probably take a look at him or give him a chance. And like, I don't know Paul Thompson. And then one day, like after World Championships, I got a phone call from Mark Bernard, the GM of Rockford, and he's like, "Hey, I'm interested. Do you want to come? Like, we'll offer you a contract. You'll go to Hawks training camp. Do you want like an opportunity to play in the AHL?" And I was like, "For sure."
And this was Paul Thompson that did this for you, and you never played for him?
Never played for him, never met him. I guess like him and Mark Bernard are really good friends because like Mark Bernard used to be a GM, equipment manager, Zamboni driver, goalie he played in, I think Basingstoke he played. But yeah, they're like good friends. And like Paul Thompson was like, "Yeah, there's this guy in this league who's like, you should probably take a look at." And then he offered me a contract and I was like, why not? Like if worse comes to worse, if I don't give it a good kick at a can in North America, like if it's not what I thought it was going to be, I'll just go back to Europe. So I was like, why not? So
and you got to give it that shot. When somebody calls you like that, you got to go, right? You got to try it.
And
if they want you, right?
Yeah. And they like, he was like interested and he's like, "We'll give you a fair shot. Like you'll do Blackhawks training camp," which I was like, I've never been to an NHL camp. So I was like, that's when I bumped into Toews and he was like, "Oh, you're my caddy." And I was like, this is embarrassing. This is awkward. But yeah, why not? Like, why not give it a shot? And then like the Nottingham fans were all mad at me because I signed a 2-year deal and then I backed out of it. I'm like, "Oh, sorry. Like, gonna go try to make it in the NHL. I'm gonna see if I can hack it a little bit."
Right. And you have to do that as a person. You have to see if you got it, right?
Yeah, might as well. And I played college and I never like actually
got a chance. Then you never had a chance. And then you're going to the
No.
Dutch league. Like you didn't have a chance. And then finally someone's putting the chance in your face and you're like, "Yeah, let's do this. Let's see what I got." Right.
Why not? Yeah. So I was a 28-year-old rookie paying my dues, cleaning the bus.
In the A.
Yeah, cleaning the bus with all the 18.
Oh, cleaning the bus. God damn it. I forgot about cleaning the bus.
Yeah. Think about doing it at 28 years old with all like the 18 to 20-year-olds, like cleaning
all the
the
new
bus.
Draft picks. You were cleaning the bus with those little punks.
Cleaning the bus with them. What else? Picking up pucks after practice. Rookie party. I had to pay for the rookie party. I was like, man, I'm not making a lot. These guys are all like got signing bonuses and all.
So what did you sign? A one-way
A? No, two-way. I signed a two-way. I tried to get a one-way, and like the Mark Bernard was like, "You played in the English league." He's like, "I'll get fired if I sign you a one-way." I was like, "Okay, I'll take a two-way then." I tried. I was like, "Man, can I get a one-way?" He was like, "No." It's like, okay.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to make a decision here. I'm gonna have to ask a question that you'll answer long enough I can take a pee. Okay.
What do you want?
I got to think about this. But you went back to North America. You play the 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I know most about this stuff, so I already know these answers. Okay, but you played for Great Britain. We haven't talked about that yet, and you did the North American thing. But that's the year you guys win gold, and you have the best plus minus. But you had already played a year. So why don't you talk about the disappointment the year before and then winning the next year while I go outside and take a pee?
Good. I'll do that. I'll talk about this year. Croatia year. This is so weird talking to a blank screen. Croatia year. Good team. We were in Zagreb. We lost to Ukraine in the gold medal game, which was super disappointing because I think we were winning. So that kind of sucked. It was a huge disappointment. I don't know. You never really want to win or never want to lose a championship game. And I think they ended up coming back. I don't know if they beat us in overtime, but yeah, something like that. Or we lost. Tough game. And then the next year played in Rockford the whole season, went to Belvegas, which is Belfast, for that one. And we pretty much dominated a majority of the teams. Yes, he's back. That was a good push.
Did you keep going?
Yeah, let's keep going. And then we went to Belfast, pretty much dominated everybody. That was a weird tournament because we pretty much handled every team. I think Croatia was the only team we were like supposed to struggle with, and we beat them like 3-0. And then won gold in Belvegas.
Boom.
Boom.
And you were a defenseman?
I think I was doing the both. I was forward that tournament, and I think I was doing a little bit of both. Like, because Corey, that was the Belfast trip was when Corey Nielsen was like assistant coach, and he like pretty much told Peter Russell, who was my coach in Germany, like how to use me. So I was going back and forth, I think, forward Andy.
It's pretty wild. Okay. I don't want to get sidetracked, is when I went outside to pee, I meant to say this on the pod, is the last couple days, like I always rave about Kincardine and how awesome it is and where I live and we're on the water and it's just farmers fields around us. But you know what, folks, the last couple days we're spraying manure. Okay.
Oh,
and let me tell you, she's rank out there. Like it smells bad. I went out there for a piss and she's heavy. It's a fog. Yeah. Tough bounce.
So yeah, that's a tough break if you're smelling.
I was trying to just enjoy the pee and like, this guy's God. He's a talker. He's fine. I'm going
I
pee.
can handle. I'll fill the silence for you.
Yeah, and then it just smelled so bad. I was like, geez, I just want to get this over with.
Is it going to be a hot and humid day tomorrow? Because that would make it even worse.
Yeah, it's supposed to be hot.
Oh, you poor man, you.
No, it's fine. I've grown up like this. This is
what do they spread manure? What's like the crop of choice out there? What do they spread manure on?
Well, we like you really want to get into this? We like soybeans. We got some wheat, corn. Those are the main things. But yeah, soybeans, people hot topic around here. Yeah.
Hot topic.
A lot of soybeans. Yep.
A lot of soy products coming out.
Yeah. Rumor has it one of my college teammates invented Wow Butter, which is the soybean peanut butter thing that people can actually take to school, and it's made with soybeans, and it's called Wow Butter.
It was
shout out Mike Jarmuth whenever you're ready to come on the pod. Whenever you got enough soybeans.
Yep, throw a couple tins this way. You know, I like soy butter too. Throw it over here.
Yeah, tastes like peanut butter, they say.
Yeah, I'll be a distributor in Chicago region. Let's go. I like money.
There you go. See, people helping people. I only want a percentage.
Yeah.
Mike, Jeremy. Okay. Where are we now? Do you know?
I have no idea. We were at the World Championships. Done. Check it off.
We're done. Loved it. Best time ever. Forward D. And those two coaches both coach in the DL2. And now both are those coaches that are bringing you over. And isn't it interesting how, like, when a coach likes you, they can take you places? Like, you see it all over hockey. You see it in the NHL. You see it in the AHL. Like, when a coach likes you, it's like that John Cooper you talk about. He's bringing guys up to the Tampa Bay Lightning because he knows what they can do. There's a lot of guys out there that can do shit, right?
Yeah, that's the one, like you were saying, like, if your coach likes you, he'll literally, like, look at prime example, Joey Haddad. Why do you think he's staying in Greenville? Why do you think he wants to be a swamp rabbit? Because Lordo's there, and that him and Lordo get along really good. Like, there's why.
But yeah, Joey, and it's weird. Like, and it's like some guys don't want the unknown. Some guys don't want to try something different. But like, when you have something comfortable and it works and it's good, and like you're the captain, you're the coach, and we got a good relationship, like, it's hard to leave that, because you go to the unknown, you can get some shitty situations in hockey.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the reason, like, that's a big reason why I signed back. Like, I had offers in Europe, and they were like all weird, like, not weird leagues. They were all like leagues that I'd never played in, where I was like, I don't know if I really want to get into this unknown nonsense, where like I wanted to come back to the UK, and like Cardiff obviously fell through, and there was like, at least I knew what I was getting myself into with the UK league. And like Sheffield, I was like, the professional, talked to the coach, liked it. I know how the organization is. So I was like, I don't want to deal with like the shit situations where I don't know what I'm getting. I don't want to be going to play in, I don't know, some crazy country where like I get there and the coach hates me, and I'm like, well, now I got to find another team. Like, don't want that.
Yeah, and you can get there with wild rain. Why? It's hard. It was different research, I guess, when I was younger. I just got on the plane and went. I never really researched the team on the internet. I don't even know if you really could, right? Like nowadays, you can really know everything about a place before you go there.
Yeah, that you can do that now, but it's still like one guy's experience is always completely different than another guy's, and
Well, look at the podcast, right? It's all about if a coach likes you. It's all about if the guys like you.
Yeah, exactly. And that was like this year wise, like people are like, can't believe he signed in Sheffield. I'm like, well, I know what I'm getting myself into. Like, I know the league. Cardiff, like that fell through. So I was like, why? Like, that's gonna be like, it's a good spot. Like everybody that I talked to, they were like, it's a good spot. So I was like, why would I not? I'd be stupid not to.
No, like I have nothing bad to say about Sheffield anymore. Like I really don't. Like,
anymore.
I know, like at the start when I didn't know what I was talking about and like I hadn't done my research, like they what they don't have is a 1-year MBA program, and what they don't have is a place on the water with boats and like all that, and like restaurants and bars on the water. They don't have that. But what they do have is a solid hockey organization with a guy like David Sims running it, that like they're gonna be competitors every year, and they're gonna be ready to rock. But like I think they all know that like it sucks that Todd Kelman now runs a team that is on the water and has a nice rink.
Yeah, I think that, yeah. And I think like the rivalry, I think the rivalry with Sheffield and Cardiff is bigger now than the rivalry with Sheffield and Nottingham. I think that rivalry with Sheffield and Nottingham is still there, but it's not. I think the rivalry with Cardiff is bigger now. I think honestly that's a bigger like draw and stuff than with Nottingham.
Well, even Belfast too, right? Like Belfast.
Yeah, even Belfast.
Yeah, no, it's those big arena teams, and it's interesting because I didn't know much about it till I went there, and I only played a year and a bit, and now I know so much about it, and I know about how every team works, and it's all from talking and shooting the shit in my shed.
In your shed. You got to get, when's Todd coming on this? Todd would be a hilarious guy.
He's already been on it.
Has he?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh God, okay.
I've even had Steve King, man. You got to start. Oh yeah, man.
That guy.
Yeah, no, there's a bunch of, you got to start listening to them too.
Yeah. Well, what episode are they? Because I'm like, I went back like 5 episodes. I didn't go back like 25 episodes.
Well, I'm doing 2 a week, buddy. It's hard to keep up.
Just God damn, just can't stop the guy.
No, like I actually had a hard time only doing 1 this week because I'm playing golf. I had a really hard time. I almost tried to slip in Chris Frank tomorrow night. And I was like, geez, I really shouldn't. I really should. I should just give it a week and a half. Like,
it's tough playing so much golf and trying to win golf tournaments and stuff. It's just tough. I know the feeling.
No, it actually, like, potting is like what I want to do. Like, this is what I want to do. What we're doing right now is 100% what I want to do. I love this shit. I can't wait. I couldn't wait all day today to do this one, and I can't wait for the next one, and I can't wait for the next one after that. Like, and people ask me, they're like, you got to keep them going. I'm like, there is no problem there.
There's no chance I'm not gonna. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, I got solid issues now.
I got a green screen in my shed. I'm not stopping. I'm serious about this.
No, this is real. I've peed outside. We're drinking beers. We're shooting the shit about hockey. I couldn't be happier. And we've been doing it for about 2 hours now. So
Jesus.
I think so.
Yeah.
So we were in North America. We went to Nottingham. We're doing all that. You went to Herning. We talked about that.
Yep. Check it.
Check the box. Back to Cardiff. You have a great time. One thing I wanted to say to you though is the reason I really wanted to have you on the pod, it wasn't because you signed in Sheffield. It wasn't because you played in Cardiff. It was because when I watch like the Twitter crap and the Instagram crap and all the baloney, is that you were one of the hockey players that like built relationships with the fans that like when you were leaving, it mattered to a bunch of people. And like you
Mhm.
were the one that was fun. And like when the kid has a party, like the kid's going to remember it. And like when you leave, the kid's going to remember you leaving, right?
Yeah, and I think that's, I don't want to say it's like the downside to being like, I don't want to say liked, but like, I don't know, like I'm just like for me, like I'm just a normal guy. Like I play hockey. Like it doesn't, I don't think I'm anything special. So like I'm pretty normal. So like interacting with fans and like having a beer with fans and like I can talk to anybody. So like chatting them up and like getting to know them and stuff like that. Like that's just normal for me. Where like I I don't think I'm anything special. So like I like to have fun. I like to like interact with fans. I think if you're gonna play hockey and I don't know, like you might as well have fun with what you do. So like why not interact with the fans, have a good time, like joke around, go to a kid's laser quest birthday party and like beat up on some other kids and try to win like a stupid trophy at the end. Like why not? Like
Well,
why not
make it
have fun with
fun,
it?
right? Like why be so serious all the time? Why not have some fun, right?
Exactly. And like that's just how I am. Like I'm gonna like you don't get to play forever. So like why not just enjoy it? And like I don't know, like some fans and stuff I've met, like I still talk to them like a couple times a week, like daily. Like they're like good, like I wouldn't like they're like good friends. Like they've helped me out through stuff and like I've helped them through stuff. Like they're like good friends of mine where like I just met them after a game at the bar for a beer and like we like I'd end up going to dinner and like I've met like good friends and stuff that are fans and it's just like why not enjoy it and like
Well, and
just
then you
enjoy it.
play with people that like, well, I guess it's different, right? Every country's a different atmosphere. But the UK was one place where like it was fun. It was fun to be buddies with the fans, right?
Yeah, and like that, like there's only a few leagues. Like England's, like the UK is the one league where you can like be
Be buddies.
friends.
And you've
Yeah,
played
like
with the leagues I've been in. The German league, you're not going to be friends with fans.
no,
It's
and like
not going to happen. They're way over the top. They're not
no,
even close to understanding of your life or situation. Like you're not. You might get to know a sponsor, but not
but not fans. Yeah,
no.
it's hard. No, and like even when I was there, like the fans like they'll message you and stuff on like social media, but like we had Corona years, so like you don't actually get to meet them or like have beers with them. You'll meet the sponsors, like you'll like you said, like you'll meet the sponsors because like the sponsors were able to come for like a drink with us or stuff like that. But like the UK, the fans like obviously you have like the over the top ones and stuff, which is fine. Like they're just passionate about their club, and then you have like the ones that like you can hang out and like go have like a beer with or like go have dinner with like the husband and wife and like get along great with them. Like it's
Yeah.
like why not enjoy it? But like the downside is though, like I will say, like when I do leave, like you said, like they take it, some of them take it really personal and some of them are really understanding where they're like, yeah, like this is a job for you. Like if I was gonna get paid for doing the exact same job at another company for like more money or something, like why would it, like anybody else would take that job? Like they're not like
When
some are understand some are understanding, some aren't. Like it's just like
well, and they're so passionate about it, like especially in Germany, the UK, like everywhere, like they're so passionate about it. Like to think of like losing the guy that comes to their kid's birthday party or comes to this or that. Like it's hard for someone to kind of like just lose that person, but like
yeah,
we're just so hardwired as hockey players that like that's what happens. You the season ends and you just
it's
keep on keeping on, right?
yeah, like the season ends and it's like people assume you're coming back, but like they don't really understand. Like even though like you're like a like Cardiff like likes me, like they might like the new coach came in, like he might want to bring in his own guys. Like it's like I have no control over that. But fans think like it's like fans are like, oh, you left, like you don't want, and it's like, well, I would like it's not anything personal. Like it's a bit like this is the business part of it. Like some people don't fully understand. Like it might not even be under my control, but like I'm the bad guy that wants to leave.
Right. But, and they won't get that. But then the day you walk into that new room, like, and you have like their captain, that Phillips, that is just an animal, and you have all the guys that they're going to bring in, and you got Simsy, and you're like, I'm going to be fully invested, and you are going to bleed orange, and I know that. And it's and like, I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to watch it via Twitter or Instagram, and like see who's winning. And I'm very curious what's going to happen this year, because
me too.
The Cardiff Devils are completely different, and that coach is doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like it sucks for me, because like the fans really liked me and took a shine to me. And then I saw they did the same thing for you. And now you're leaving, right?
I know. So just me and you just breaking hearts. Cashing checks and snapping necks, both of us, huh?
No, I think it's just that you can I don't know what I did. I didn't do anything. I just ran around naked.
That's like, but it's like the same thing. I think if you're in that league, if you're like genuine with the fans and you're just yourself, and like me and you are both outgoing, like I don't know if they just take a shine to it, or like it's just like they like that. Like they like a little bit of like a personality where like, but like that's just how both of us are, I think, the same, like similar. We're like, we just want to have a good time, like regardless of who's with us. Like we're gonna try to make the best out of every situation.
Right.
Like,
and losing sucks and winning's awesome. And you try and do that.
Exactly. And like that's the same thing I'm gonna bring to Sheffield. Like the coach was asking me, like, what position you want to play? And I was like, honestly, I don't care. I was like, all I want to do is come in, help the team win, do whatever I can, and win trophies. I was like, that's literally what. And like he was like, so you don't care what position you play? And I was like, no. I was like, if you need me at defense, I will do whatever you need me to do at defense. Just tell me. And I was like, if you need me at forward, I'll do whatever you need me to do at forward. I was like, I'm literally want to help. I was like, I'm like, I'm not, I don't want to say I'm like the most unselfish player, but like I want to come in, I want to do whatever it takes to win. I want to help the team, I want to have fun, and I want to win trophies. That's all I want to do.
And that's what it should be about. That's what it all should be about. It shouldn't be about points and like, are you using me here or using me there? It should be about like, well, like whatever you want to put me in, like, let's do it, right? Like, let's rock and roll.
That's how I like, that's normal in my career. And he told me, he was like positions like aren't given, like you got to earn like power play. And I was like, perfect, because like Lordo never played me on the power play and no one else played me on the power play. So I was like, I'm perfectly fine without getting power play time, because I'm like, that's normal for me. Like, let's go.
Yeah, no, I could see it. You're too fast for the power play.
Well, I just can't stand still. You got used a little bit on the power play, but literally my job was to like look like you were gonna shoot and give the puck to Marty. That was my job. It was like look like you're a threat, but then give it to the better players. I was like, sounds good. I know my job, Lordo. Thanks.
Oh man, no, I can't wait to see how the whole new season breaks down and how it all happens, because like literally the Cardiff Devils, like the new team, I don't, other than Batchy and Richie and a few of them, like, man, she's different. A whole different thing.
Oh yeah. And I think COVID was like a big reason for that, because like Benty, like there's a lot of older guys that probably would have came back if there was a season the next year, and like that didn't happen. And then those guys kind of, they like either retired or they just stopped. Like they were like, yeah, I'm not coming back. But like the team is different.
Oh yeah. But like you're going to a different team and everything's going to be different. And I think it's so exciting for the fans of the UK league. And I think it's awesome. And I think I mean, like I'm watching it, I'm seeing who's all signing where, and I'm like, do I know anybody? But I'm too fucking old.
Yeah, like I'm going to a new team, but the thing that kind of was another draw for Sheffield is I think they're bringing a lot of their guys back, like Cardiff did, and Cardiff was successful for like those 4 to 6 years where they just kept like bringing the same guys back, and they kept being able to like bring, like Sheffield's got a lot of the same guys from like 2 years ago. So I'm like,
like I think it's a big thing in that league to understand the league title. Like,
yes.
yeah, like the start of the season, to understand that those games mean as much as the end of the year. That is huge, because I didn't get it. When I showed up to do my MBA, I didn't get it. But I didn't even know if we were playing a Challenge Cup game or a real game. I didn't even know what the difference was.
Me and you would know this because like we had it when we played. Remember the double bubble game where it was like Challenge Cup and regular season points? And if you lost it, the shit hit the fan.
It was a big loss.
And I was like, what's the big deal? Like, they're like, you don't understand. This means a lot. And I was like, what? It's just one game in Coventry. Like, what the hell are we talking about?
Yeah, but then they've decided in their league meeting that it was a league and playoff or Challenge Cup game. And you're like, so yeah, we lost points both?
In both? Like, what?
What's the Challenge Cup again?
Yeah, like we're playing like I remember my first year. I was like, wait, you're telling me we're playing like for a trophy in the middle of the season? They're like, yeah, middle Challenge Cup. I'm like, but it's in like January.
Oh, I had done it in Germany. I had known about it, but in Germany, everybody was like, just lose. Like, lose your first game, you're done. They're like, you'll save yourself 15 games. They're like, lose the first game against a third league team, you're done.
You're done.
They're gonna get mad at you for a day, and then that's it. You don't have to play 13 more games, and you don't get paid more for it.
No, you don't get paid more. You get maybe a bonus if you win it, but like the chances of that, like you're playing 15 more games, you're like, oh, I made 250 euros.
A lot more chance injury.
Yeah.
When you look back at it as a 40-year-old, and you could get injured tying your shoes.
Yeah, trust me, I know. Like, I had no injuries my entire career, and then I went like back-to-back injuries, and now I'm just like, I'll literally go for a run, and I'm like crippled for 15 days after. I'm like, stop running.
Stop it. No, I can't wait for you to play well next year. I can't wait for you to do well. And it's weird for me, like this whole podcast and the whole way this whole thing has happened. It's weird for me because the Cardiff Devils have like, I love them. I love everything about them, but they have never once supported me through Twitter or Instagram. They have never once retweeted anything.
They never did anything.
But David Sims, that old boy, with the Sheffield Steelers, he'll retweet. He'll get the message out there. Like, he will. He really will. He will. And I don't understand what I did wrong. I don't know why I can't get a retweet. Like, nobody's saying anything bad about you, Cardiff. Like, I don't know what the problem is. Like, I just want a little retweet. Like, just help the brand a little bit, folks.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe like if Todd makes it 2 hours into this podcast, he can actually like get on the Twitter, maybe retweet or something.
Zero chance he's got 2 hours to get on here, and zero chance he's the one running the Twitter.
I bet you he is. I bet you Todd's the one.
Do you think he's the one dodging me?
He might be.
I will fly over there and drop kick him right in the chest for not retweeting any of this. I got no love. All of a sudden, I'm burning oranges on my Cardiff Devils fire pit years ago. And now the Sheffield Steelers are supporting the pod and the Cardiff Devils aren't. That doesn't make sense, does it?
I'm just saying, like, why do you think a lot of, like, I went over to the orange side, man, bleed orange. I'm just saying, like,
God, I can't imagine you in orange.
Yeah, I don't know. I might be able to log into the old Cardiff Devils Twitter. I think I could probably guess the password from my fan event.
I bet you probably could get in there and just at least retweet a few of the episodes and just be like, hey, we support this. Like, hey, we support what Brent Walton's doing. We had a Wally night for him, and that's the only reason he started this was because of that, and he missed being a hockey player. And, like, you know what? Just hit retweet every once in a while. You got a lot of followers, folks.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to hear about this stuff, right?
Yeah. Come on, Devils. Help a brother out, man. You had Wally
Seriously.
night, for God's sakes. You had him on
Yeah.
the red carpet. You had him on the red
You had
carpet.
them on the red carpet, and the Sheffield Steelers are the one hit and retweet. Strange
That's-
world in the social media game, eh?
Hey, Corona, man. Everything's flipped upside down.
Dude, I watched my kid play soccer tonight, and the one girl yelled at the other team that they were cyberbullying her. And I was like, huh. Well, I thought this was a soccer game, but I guess you're being cyberbullied.
Yeah, you getting cyberbullied on the bench? Like, what
Yeah.
is she doing? Checking her phone on the
geez.
bench?
Oh, shucks.
Oh, shucks. Remember the days you used to just get bullied and you just walk up to your bully and sucker him in the
All
face?
I want
with
is a
your long
goddamn
arm?
retweet, Todd.
Yeah.
Twad. I almost
Come
said
on,
twad.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Come on, Twad. I only
I'll see
want
if
a
I can
retweet.
I'll see if I can hack into the old Devils at
Okay.
Twitter because I know I can
If
probably
you
guess
get
that
in there,
password.
hit retweet on every episode I ever fucking linked them in because they haven't hit it once.
I'll do a retweet with like a little subtle like orange emoji at the bottom or something so you know it's me.
The worst thing I could ever ask for is to end up being a fucking Orange fan because they'll hit retweet over the Devils. That would be horrible for me because
Hey, man.
I've lived my life as a
Hate it.
Cardiff Devil.
Yeah.
And now they're not even gonna hit retweet for me. They're not even
Now
gonna like comment. They're not even like. They just see it. They just let it
Man,
pass by.
You've been brainwashed. Sheffield's not that bad, man. You've been brainwashed this whole time.
Well, I didn't know.
Yep.
I was sitting there watching the videos over and over again.
Oh man.
No, I'm just kidding. But Simsy's a beauty. Can't believe how many people listen to that. I'm sure there's gonna be a few people listen to this. Who knows, right? Like there's two guys
I
that
doubt
talk
they'll
too
listen
much.
to I doubt they'll listen to the whole thing, but you know what? They might make it like 30, 40 minutes in.
Yeah, well, good for them if they do. And I would like to say, go Devils, and I wish you luck this year. But then, like the Devils, they're other than Todd and Katrina, Batchy, Richie, kind of strangers. They're kind of strangers.
You got Murdy as the equipment guy.
Oh, maybe I'll have to get in there through the equipment guy. Maybe that's how I'll get in the room.
Pigsy's probably not coming back. I don't think Pigsy's coming back.
I think he's curing cancer at the moment.
Switzerland. I think he's in Switzerland. He's got a better setup.
I think he's fine. Yeah, no, I think you're right. So yeah, no, I'm not a free agent. I'm a Cardiff Devil for life. And you are not going to sway me on that. But I hope you do well on that new team. And I don't know many other guys on the team, so I'm not really going to support anybody else at the moment. But I support you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And I support David Sims and what they're trying to do there, and like their passion for hockey. And like I think they've signed a great player, and I'd be signing you if I had a team because you can do whatever the hell you want, and you're a good dude, and you're gonna help the team in whatever way they ask of you. And in the real world, if I had a guy, or I do have a guy that does that, but when I have a guy like that, like it changes everything, because when there's an issue, you're like, well, I got him.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, like a Swiss Army knife. It's like, oh, you need a fourth line grinder. Like he can do that tonight. You need a
top
like
4D.
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't matter. Like, and that's what you are. You're a teammate. And when you're done hockey, whenever that is, you're going to do just fine, because that's who you are. And that's the way that's whoever is going to be your boss after hockey will be a very lucky guy, because you'll be like, well, who do you want me to help? Who do you want me to go help? What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Right.
It's all it is. And like, it's super easy. Like people like wonder like that, like how like you are successful. I'm like, well, when you're playing with like Joey Martin, the GOAT, and Joey Haddad, all I need to do is skate really fast and give them the puck, and then let them do whatever they do. Cause like I don't want like as long as I get an assist, I'm like, nah, that's fine. I got my assist. I skated really fast and gave it to Joey Martin. And like I'm like, just give it to better players than me, and they'll do whatever they do and score. Easy recipe.
Well, I mean, I've never played with you. I don't know the caliber, but I do know that when I played with guys that knew to give me the puck, I was like, give me the fight, like don't
easy recipe.
Just do it now instead of wait till the blue line and then I gotta figure it out then. Like, let me have it now and then you go, boy.
Yeah. That's
right?
literally my job, was to give the puck to Joey Martin or Joey Haddad, drive the middle to like push back the D, and then just go stand in front of the net. And they'll do whatever they do.
Matthew Myers.
Yeah. It's a pretty simple recipe.
Matthew Myers is the best hockey player ever at doing that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe how much I missed him until he was in Nottingham.
Yeah. Well, he was with me and I loved him in Nottingham. And then
oh my God, he would skate up the middle, dish it out to me on the side, and just go to the net. And it was like, that's exactly what I need. That's exactly what I wanted. You pushed the D back. You gave me space. I'm good to go now. You go to the net, and then we're good.
Yeah. Or when he was your centerman and you had a face off in the offensive zone, you're like, oh, I love starting with the puck all the time because he's going to rip some poor kid's hands off. And he'd just like whack the sting and then whack the puck back. And he'd fall down, obviously, but he'd get the puck. I'm like, good job, Matthew. He wins like 90% of his faceoffs every game. I'm like,
I know. And he's a winner. And
he couldn't even get a job this year. I'm like, how does this guy?
What?
He's not with Cardiff.
And this has been another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Mosey and Wally.